Hey folks, it's Sam from That Time We Woke Up in a Podcast and Had to Explain Manga, our heated adventures overanalyzing manga that we find interesting, otherwise known as the Over Manga Cast. And this week we're continuing Spooktober with a manga about body horror, terror in the mountains, metaphors for sex that are just actually sex. What's that?
Guys, I'm really not sure.
We did this last week.
Working.
No. This week we read Gleipnir by Sun Takeda, chapters 15-35. What do you mean this is just like... Alright, I'm beginning to sense a theme for this month, but, enjoy the show. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Over Manga Cast. My name is Sam, and as always, here at the top of the show, we talk about what our familiarity with the property we read this week was. I actually have not consumed any more Gleipnir since the last time we read this particular manga. I remember being very off-put by it last time, not necessarily disliking it, but definitely not wanting to seek more out. After last week, I feel like I can take on anything, though, so who's to say after this? Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I remember liking it the last time we read it, but I had not found any need to really seek it out beyond us getting recommended to read it again this October. So thanks, listeners, for forcing us to read things we say we like and then never get around to.
Yes, only you can hold us accountable to do things like that. Jay, how about you?
Very similarly. In fact, yeah, haven't touched it since we first read this title.
All right, and Jacob.
To the shock of everyone, I actually have something to say this time. I did actually read a little bit ahead this time. I have a list. I had gotten a few chapters into a bunch of things. Some things I stuck with more consistently. Others I only read a little bit of, and then sort of, life happened. I got as far as the metaphorical sex becoming very real, and then, not necessarily because of that, but around that point, I sort of trailed off and haven't really gotten back into reading Gleipnir until now.
Well, as seems to be the theme so far this month, we dive right back into our sexual awakening themed body horror adventures so we open up with a brief flashback of Claire talking to somebody on the cell phone of the guy that died last time. You remember that? Dude sliced in half by our big metal monster man friend. And so she uses this to arrange a meeting with the team of monsters that that previous guy had been a part of. At which point we cut back to the present, where they are being introduced to this group of weirdos, latest batch of them.
One of the first non-hostile interactions that we've had in the series, and I mean that for literally every single character.
Mm-hmm. Shuichi's actually very excited about this. It's like, Claire, we found people that aren't crazy and violent. This is great.
Meanwhile, Claire is just like, hold on, don't speak too soon.
Also, not for nothing, but the most crazy and violent character up to this point in the story is the person he's talking to. But we're going to move past that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But they're not going to be allowed to join the group until they take a special oath that will bind them to the group indelibly. And as a safeguard, Claire decides to get out of Shuichi in his suit form, and she'll take the oath first so that she can tell him if it's on the up and up or not, which of course means we have a transition from suited form with Claire inside to Claire getting out, and manga loves its glamour shots of that.
Yeah. Oh, the manga loves its glamour shots is really all you need to say.
True.
I ain't complaining.
The one takeaway as Claire is led away to the secret room where the oath is taken, I guess. Claire really signs on to what could have easily been just killing her in a back room, but...
Yeah, and I can't figure out if this is like a genius, like big brain move on her part, or if it's just like, I am just going to act super confident, and the confidence will allow them to believe I belong here.
I'm willing to go with Claire just knows they're not actually a threat, but that kind of doesn't track because we find out one of them is actually a threat later on, but
Well, the thing about Claire, and this has been consistent with her character all along, she is extremely reckless. She makes educated guesses, she makes smart bets, but she always all ins on everything.
She holds no value in her own life.
Yeah, or at least she says so, which, given we get a little bit more about her character, we've not refuted that idea specifically yet, but there's a lot about the truth about Claire as a person we learn over the course of this.
But the one takeaway is as she's being led away to the fun room where nothing bad happens, we get a scene where the rest of the crew is just hanging out with Shuichi in the room, and the girl whose power is she can talk to animals, gets real touchy-feely with our boy.
Because he's still in mascot suit form. So this girl wearing her motorcycle helmet comes over and is like, "Can I pet you?" I guess.
Okay. What about tummy rubs? That'd probably be a step too far.
No. I'm withdrawing consent for that one.
which is honestly a big step for Shuichi, and she does respect that. Though, dear listeners, if you recall our last episode, you might have noticed I made a point of saying there was an idea that gets like reinforced later, and then that never came up again. That's because I accidentally read an extra chapter. And I was referring to this moment.
The one about how motorcycle helmet girl, Yoshioka is her name, can understand the feelings of animals.
That's sort of tying into Shuichi's character of, like not seeing himself as a person. Had a whole spiel I was going to do, and then my co-hosts rightly informed me that I was an idiot and looked at the wrong line of the spreadsheet.
Yeah, as the bonding is happening downstairs with the new member of the group, Claire had gone off with the leader, Jason Voorhees mask girl, who then proceeds to immediately take off her mask and her top and her shorts and just sitting there, titties out.
I love how long it takes for Claire to realize this isn't part of the setup. This is just assault.
Yeah.
Why did you take off your clothes? Don't worry about it.
We're all girls here.
You can't sum up Gleipnir in one panel. Claire fully believes that this is part of the oath-taking ritual, I suppose, because Koyanagi, the leader of the group, she says that her power is that she can force people to keep secrets. And so her using her power is this oath. And she, while fondling her own ass, starts to explain her backstory to Claire.
I mean, Claire is also prodding her for her backstory a little bit, because Claire is...
Yeah, and that's why trying to read Claire is like almost impossible at this point, because I'm like, does she know?
She's fishing for information.
Claire thinks she's Sherlock Holmes, and sometimes the manga decides to make her Sherlock Holmes.
It's the confidence that comes with it. It's just like, does she know? Is this a power move that she's trying to do? Or
well, it is a power move because she doesn't think she's a threat because they would have been dead already. So that gamble paid off. So now it's like, okay, they're weak in some way. How can I pick that apart to like better influence me? Is really Claire's whole deal here. Which is why it turns down to going like, hey, this is getting really sexual. You've now mounted me.
And are fondling my breasts. Is this part of the ritual?
While telling me a story about how you were hooking up with your teacher in high school, just gonna go out on a limb here. Was that a male teacher or a female? Yep. Okay. That tracks. So I guess this isn't part of the oath ceremony, right? Yeah, you wouldn't have done this with the boys. And she's like, oh no, disgusting.
I was gonna say it's phrased that way. So do you do this with the guys or ew, no. This isn't part of the ritual, is it? No.
Koyanagi, hand between Claire's legs, is like, no, it's not.
And I mean, this whole scene is happening as we kind of get the backstory explained, and there's a
makes this whole scene, like, aside from what's happening to Claire, feel very uncomfortable.
Which, I mean, is kind of Gleipnir's whole thing.
That's sort of the point.
There's a whole lore dump here about how the rest of them don't look like monsters, and the people who turn into monsters, Koyanagi kind of says, like, as much as those people didn't have a clear idea what they wanted their wish to be. I knew exactly what I wanted my wish to be. I want to be able to enforce death upon people who don't keep secrets, because I thought it was weird that I hooked up with my teacher, and then my teacher felt guilty about it, so they didn't talk to me anymore, and that made me feel even more isolated. So I talked with a close personal friend about it to see what I should do emotionally, and she told everybody. And when the secret got out, my teacher killed herself. And now I want to just make sure secrets can stay secret. And I'm like, weird moral manga, but you know what? Do you? I guess.
I don't really know that there's a moral there. That's just
it's a logical.
It's more of a character trait of her.
It's Kiyanagi's own morality or sense of justice or whatever.
Yeah,
it's her reacting to a pain she had.
It's her moral, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's like a thesis statement for the manga. I'm just saying the fact that her character is portrayed as relatively healthy going forward is kind of just, oh, you know what? Maybe some things should just be kept secret. And I guess in this situation, this did cause someone to die, so
she's definitely the highest functioning of this group.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I also feel that, well, we'll go into it later. I feel like this entire group dynamic, as we delve into it, really shapes out to be really interesting. Honestly. I mean, yes, obviously they actually reference that. Like, they literally would be easy pickings if they were by themselves. So
I think another kind of important element of this is this entire scene with the two of them is intercut with basically two other scenes, one that leads into so this is, strictly speaking, chapter wise a little bit later, but by the end of the whole, hey, this isn't part of the ritual, is it? This is one of the first times we actually see a crack in basically Fortress Claire that we've had up to this point, because like, even as all of this is happening, whenever there are eyes upon her, she is still stone-faced, still unaffected by it all. But we actually see a private moment of Claire's where she actually shows that, wow, that was way more than I was comfortable with, and that almost got bad. That was too high of a risk, and I shouldn't have done that.
It's also when she takes the break to go out and grab her cell phone to like come back and show Koyanagi that, like, hey, I'm looking for my sister.
And she goes to get the cell phone, so she walks in on Yoshioka snuggling on Shuichi. Shuichi's like, can you not, like, maybe Claire sees this and instantly furious.
Yes.
Oh, little does she know
where the rest of that scene is going to go. Chronologically, the angry Claire comes first. This is another case where she basically admits to herself that that was stupid of me. I shouldn't have done that. Sort of reframes this moment where that anger, I mean, like, there's obviously a level of possessiveness to it. It's more vulnerable in the context that we get with her later on.
Yeah.
It's less of her putting up a front and that of her actual mask slipping, more so than it seems at first blush.
But regardless, they're in the like weird dungeon room with Koyanagi, where she's trying to get Claire to wear a necklace made out of her hair.
Which is still creepy. I mean, you know.
Yeah, because that's what the oath actually is. It is a choker made out of Koyanagi's hair that sinks into your neck. And if you reveal a secret that she wants kept, it will immediately decapitate you.
Well, actually, it's even more clever than that, because it is specifically if you feel you have betrayed the group.
Yeah, so it's even more it's more nebulous than not just what you think will like offend me and betray me. You have to think of all of us.
I love the page where she reveals that caveat to Claire, and then Claire's like, "Oh yeah, I'll sign up for this, no problem." Like, Claire's not going to feel guilty about shit.
Uh-huh. I never intended to join you in good faith anyway.
Yeah, I really feel like there should be more buy-in rather than you have to like
We'll see. See,
not
that's
be
the
a
thing, though.
sociopath.
See, that's the thing, though, because we find out over the course of this that Claire is not as stone cold as she pretends to be. So I have a feeling that this, like, not necessarily that it's going to actually, like that it's going to get Claire killed or anything, but I have a feeling that this is going to.
I don't know, Jacob. We have a scene later on where she's just like, "Yep, nope. I guess what needs to be done needs to be done." So, like, whether or not she'll feel guilty about it is. I don't know. Koyanagi's power sucks. I think we can all just come to the conclusion. It only works on people who would feel bad if they betrayed you, which really meaningless. Like
Saying like not only is one like Claire's character, at least up to this point, has been very, stone cold, very I don't want to say level-headed, but an air of
Confidence, at least.
Confidence, yes. And the fact that like you immediately upon meeting this group, they haven't had like one open air or casual conversation or anything. At this point, you don't even know who all these people are. You're supposed to immediately feel that there's buy-in for you to, I guess, want to get to know everyone because you want to get to know what would potentially be a minefield of what would be like cause someone to feel betrayed, I guess. I don't understand the dynamic.
Here's the thing. There's a specific phrasing, and after all, she could also be lying about any number of things in this.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what she says specifically is that when you feel you've betrayed us, it doesn't mention guilt specifically. The guilt is implied, but if you betray us, if you yourself feel that you've betrayed us, no matter how you feel about it, if that's the case, then especially since the implied guilt isn't a factor, that actually makes the power a little bit stronger.
I'm going to say we've got some evidence in what happens with the group that leads me to believe that's not the case, but we can talk about it when it comes up.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when it comes up, because I feel there's evidence both for and against that.
I still think that like partially inoculates Claire because she never she much like Shar Aznable has never betrayed anybody in her entire life.
Yeah, basically. But regardless, we're really burying the lead here because the much more interesting story is the second Claire grabs her phone and leaves. Animal girl, who I wish I remembered, Chihiro?
Chihiro is her first name, yeah.
Yep. So she immediately goes like, Claire's gone, "Hey, I lost my wallet in the woods, and also you're a dog. Do you want to go look for it?"
She's a baiter. She's a furry.
She's a furry. Like that much is clear.
I'm just saying this is immediately tipped me on because there was a reason.
I thought this was recent. She lost this 2 days ago. Like,
But like, okay, maybe it's the residual paranoia from last week's reading, but I was instantly like, okay, Shuichi, you idiot. You know you're getting love bombed, right? How manipulatable are you?
Very.
One girl starts acting nice to you and suddenly you're going off alone?
Well, he is an empty mascot suit metaphor.
Yeah, that's true. But it's here where the thing that I found the funniest happens because as they are heading out into the woods,
a series of misadventures that would not be out of place in a porno happen.
Well, Chihiro is like getting out of breath climbing a hill, and she's like, "I don't have much stamina even when I'm transformed." And he's like, "Wait, you're in monster form right now? You don't look that different." And she's like, "Yeah, that's why I wear the helmet. I promise not to laugh." And she pops up the helmet. She's got fox ears.
Which viewers, yes, animal girls with animal ears count as furries.
Yes, yes, you heard it here. I said it. I said what I said.
Because Chihiro is definitely a furry.
Uh-huh.
I mean, both physically and also just psychologically. She went after him, that dog boy.
She immediately went after the first suit man, yes.
But more importantly, this girl goes like, oh, man, I'm so tired. I guess, oh, you can just go home. I can just do it. Actually, your smell is actually just kind of interrupting things, so I'll find it real quick if you just leave and I can bring it to you. Oh, but maybe on the other hand, I could just get inside of you and then you wouldn't have to smell me and then we could go together. It's like, that's weird you suggested that so quickly. But also, I'm very horny, so I'll immediately concede, well, I guess the only problem is your clothes would get dirty and you wouldn't want to deal with that. I'll take them off. Oh, I guess we're doing this then.
I mean, only if your girlfriend would be mad, Claire.
Not my girlfriend.
That's not my girlfriend.
And it's here where we get...
I mean, you say out of a porno.
Out of a porno, because we have telescope head man, Ikeuchi.
Who, established earlier, has kind of a crush on Chihiro.
And he followed them surreptitiously and has been using his telescope head, which is also a camera. I wonder why, to voyeuristically watch them. So he is watching Chihiro strip and step inside the suit form.
And my boy's a cuckold because he is also furiously masturbating.
Yeah, no, he is.
This is clearly displayed on panel.
He is crying. He is furious. He is in full incel rage mode. He's also hard as a rock and gripping it through his pants.
This boy is jacking it through a pair of jeans. He's down bad.
Oh god.
The shots zooming in on Chihiro's ass as she's taking her panties off has the little record in the upper right hand corner.
Yeah. So the getting in the suit is metaphor for sex is also now just sex.
Well, you remember how Claire, the first time that she entered the suit, was still in her underwear and then later used a swimsuit. Chihiro strips entirely, which Shuichi only finds out when he stands up and goes to like put her clothes, like stash them away somewhere, notices her panties and is like, are you entirely naked in there? But you said they would get my clothes dirty. I didn't mean that. I meant just take off your dress.
You don't understand how down bad this girl was, Sam. Like I think she is playing up how innocent she is. Like,
oh no, I fully understand that. It's part of the reason why I was screaming at Shuichi. How manipulatable are you?
Because the entire time he is having flashes of the first time he transformed with Claire, and Chihiro inside him just goes like, hey, are you comparing me with that girl? He's like, what? No. You know, I can kind of get glimpses of what you're thinking about. We're very connected right now.
How?
No. You feel good too. Why would you say that? I don't know why I said that.
It has a lot of awkward teenagers doing it for the first time energy, and it is sort of charming in that regard.
It's like when you're having sex with a woman and midway she asks, so am I better than your ex? And you're just like, why? Why
would you bring that up now?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course I'm thinking about her, but really that's my own trauma.
But yeah, there's also a level of character development of Shuichi. He's not made a huge leap or anything because in a lot of cases, he, like most of this is framed in the idea of she is also an unconfident person who doesn't have a lot of personal strength, which maybe isn't as true as he'd like to think it is.
He definitely feels a deeper... he's feeling a lot right now, but he feels a deeper emotional connection to her than Claire.
But there is also the aspect of she's not my girlfriend. Like he's not totally unaware of what's going on, and that shows more of a spine than he had previously.
I also love the entire time he's going like, me and Chihiro are actually really in common. We're both weak, easily manipulatable people. I wonder if I could use this to my advantage. What the hell? Mm-hmm. Like, I get you're like downplaying yourself with that, but there's also like a weird predatoriness when he's talking. Like, we're both inhuman monsters undeserving of love. So if we bone, it's okay.
Yeah, well, there's also a large aspect of Claire's persona is affecting him.
I'd say it's just a moderate aspect, if not a small aspect. That's a butt joke.
Okay.
Ah.
Lots of ass shots in this.
The sex metaphors are completely lost on all of us because, boy, how literal it gets.
I mean, we literally have the moment of Chihiro trying to move around in the suit and immediately tripping and falling, and he's like, "I thought you knew what you were doing. I thought you knew what you were doing." It just feels so different. Did it hurt?
I just want to apologize. When we made the schedule, I didn't intend for the first half of October to be like both about pegging, but
here we are.
What's going on?
Look, Jay, if you were here last week, you'd understand why we're so blasé about this.
So anyway, after they have sex in the woods, they kind of stumble through the woods after her purse or her wallet.
Her
I guess?
wallet. Yeah,
Yeah.
her wallet.
Unfortunately for them, the plot is continuing to happen because the wallet was found by another group of monsters wandering the woods looking for coins. This monster group includes Elena and the one who actually found the wallet, Subaru. He's totally not Gara, guys.
He kind of looks like Kahlua, actually, I thought.
Oh, Kahlua is actually pretty close too, but like
His fighting style is very Gara-esque.
oh, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
Big metaphor for my dead mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And also the closed-in sphere of defense and then attack with...
I mean, except his metaphor is literally just what appears to be his dead parents. Like,
a lot of the monster transformations are just stands at this point.
yeah, why is it that the main characters turn into things, but all the other people seem to just have like things coming off of them?
I think that's part of what Kuyanagi was getting at. Like, people who consumed the magic potion of wishing from the alien, who had a strong idea of what they wanted, were able to keep a greater
sense of their original selves.
God. So if you like asked for a person back, you get that person, as opposed to someone saying, I want women to be inside of me. They turn into a flesh suit.
Like Subaru, I can only presume that he seems to have a very powerful self-image.
Yeah, he's nothing but ego.
His monster power is the massive twisted forms of his parents arise to simultaneously defend him and slap down all threats.
I mean, we don't know they're his parents, but they are like a male and female zombie. So it's like,
I'm pretty sure he calls them mom and dad.
Oh, he might. I don't know. I don't actually read these things. But so we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. I'll just hop us back in. Basically, they find the wallet, but it's been picked up by that group, and they're like, "Oh no, they're all very strong. I can now sense spiritual pressure." And then they split off, and then he's just like, "Oh wait, one of them split off. That would make it easier for us." He says aloud so that the kid can hear him and go like, "You think I'm easy just because I'm a little kid?" I didn't actually say that, but sure, yeah, we can probably fight you. And then he summons his presumably zombie parents and crushes just literally like a paper bag just between two hands, smush. You see it's been like compressed in half. You see Chihiru's like hip dislocate out of place as she's ripped in half inside of him. And I'm like, holy shit, this is really bad for the group you just joined, that you took one of their like members inside of you, went off on a run, and then got her killed.
That was, yes, all of those thoughts immediately flashed through my mind. It was here, honestly, that I'm just like, if I didn't know how many more chapters were in the reading, I'd be like, okay, this has to be like where it ends. This is the end.
So I never thought for a second that crushing Shuichi would actually hurt him because he's got no bones.
And also, he got his bloody head ripped off last time and was fine.
Yeah, but that's a mascot costume thing. Like, you can put heads back on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we know that the mascot suit is incredibly resilient. But Chihiro, not so much so. He gets wrung like a dish rag and her blood is pouring out of him. It seems like that is the end of it, and the fight is instantly over, and now we just have to deal with this tragedy. Subaru starts to walk away, dismissing his stand, and then the the suit stands back up in a very grisly panel.
Meanwhile, the whole time, Shuichi's going through like an internal monologue about how it's okay for him to fight because it's not actually Claire who was the violent psychopath, it was him. And I'm like, buddy, you're really learning the wrong lessons here. You're blaming yourself for not stopping her is the same thing as you doing things, and it's just like,
It's a step forward. It's not like
it's taking responsibility for things, but in a way that pushes him down further into being her pet, which isn't really great. Like, you need to acknowledge you're not responsible for her actions.
I mean, it's non-linear character movement, which,
he's claimed some degree of separation by boning Chihiro into a cool secondary transformation.
It is a pretty rad transformation, as both Chihiro and Shuichi's combined fury at what just happened causes them to more perfectly meld. And
it's elements of the mascot suit onto
Chihiro.
So it's like Chihiro's body, but with like Tanuki skin and like demon fox. It looks like Kyuubi Naruto, kind of, actually, if Kyuubi Naruto was an actual physical body rather than chakra
like
energy.
Yeah. And like,
again, the comparison of Subaru to Gaara, this is just a Naruto arc.
But like, damn, what a character design. Holy crap.
It's so
It was here that they
cool.
grabbed me, because like immediately what popped into my head was, okay, this is like, at first, until it's like we delve more into the inner monologue, it's like a switch of control, where Chiharu like assumed control from Shuichi, but then
no, it's revealed later on that this is a more perfect melding, because the new form is like Chihiro's body, except the skin is all like black and crackling with energy. The eyes totally white. Her teeth have become the zipper on the back of the suit.
I love the like Cheshire cat grin she's got going on the entire time.
And like that freaking pose, man. Like,
I just love it because you combine the two most milquetoast, like calm characters, and they form a perfect union to realize they both love murder.
Yep, this two-tailed kitsune monster just starts screaming.
yes, just like that.
And I'm like, same, TBH. Aren't you tired of being nice? Don't you just want to go ape?
Keep an eye on Sam, everyone.
So our fusion girl, I guess she's wearing a dress, but is technically a perfect fusion of the two. So I don't know.
Non-binary.
They don't really ascribe a identity to the fusion at all, is the thing. So
yeah, this is all new, and they're just sort of experiencing it as it goes along.
it is feminine presenting, I guess we can go as far as.
I think that's fair to say.
So yeah, because Shuichi is such a doormat, he just gets immediately overwhelmed. But yeah. So the weird part about this, they don't establish this in the chapter it's introduced, but later on we find out that while this fusion form is going on, their two bodies are just standing behind watching with blank eyes.
I think that's supposed to be like a representation of their combined spirits.
They don't make that clear. It looks like there's just two puppeteers.
And it seems
They're
clear
standing
to me.
on grass. It's not like they're in like a floating like mind space like when they do other things. They're standing on the grass watching.
It was only whenever they were doing internal monologues. It seemed clear to me personally.
Yeah, I got the idea that was just a representation of their fused egos.
Well, regardless, it doesn't matter because they clown on this guy until he's like, okay, well, time to stop holding back. Time to use my ultimate attack. And then Claire's sister shows up and is like, no, you can't use the ultimate attack. Why? Because we're probably like arc villains or something, and we need to make you still be a threat later. I'm like, oh, you're right. That makes sense. I'm now going to clown on these fools.
Love it, because like the entire time the fused form is rampaging about, like bouncing off of trees and ripping up huge holes in the ground, slapping at the huge monster and trading blows. there's this inner monologue talking about the rage swelling up inside of them. I've never felt angry for my own sake. My own sake, who am I talking about? Is it Shuichi or is it Chihiro? And then it's like, it doesn't matter. It's both. And I can't forgive this little brat for what he did, and nothing will stop my fury. I love that panel because he's like being shielded in like the clasped hand of the big parent zombie stand.
Mhm.
And she just like rips open the fingers and bends them backwards, breaking them, leering over him like a death spirit, pulls out, got 2 guns now.
She does have 2 side guns that are just hilarious because on her costume, where are those kept?
They're strapped to her thighs under the dress.
They aren't there when you see under the dress earlier.
Also, that dress is very thin. It's not hiding guns. Like,
Interpret that as that they appear when needed because monster powers.
I'm more suspicious because that dress did not have pockets.
It is positioned kind of ambiguously where either like Subaru's going to get shot or the fused form is going to get crushed. And that's when Elena shows up and intervenes.
Yeah,
And-
honestly, I like this. They make it pretty freaking clear that whilst this fused form is incredibly powerful, it is also in a blind rage mode that makes it not exactly, dexterous.
Mm-hmm.
Here's these 2 people who are somewhere in the same neighborhood of power as this new fused form, but they're more in control. It manages to maintain the menace of antagonists whilst keeping this new fused form as potentially strong enough to actually win against them if it was more completely controlled.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were hollified.
I thought that was clear enough from the actions. I kind of felt like Elena's whole like lore dump about how, no, you need to hold that power off for when we need it in the future. Kind of unnecessary. This manga loves its unnecessary lore dumps, to be fair. So,
Mm-hmm.
Sick choice.
Elena's also trying to keep Subaru alive for some as of yet unspoken purpose. So it's like, even if you could maybe win this, I don't want you risking yourself. And when she comes to intervene in this fight, she explains her reasoning partly as Subaru is still a child, which interesting juxtaposition of your motivations there, girl, because you want to keep him from getting hurt in a fight because he's a child, yet you are using him as a weapon in your ambitions.
is she? We actually don't really get established that she's the boss of this team.
That's actually, I think, a pretty strong parallel with Shuichi, where she's complicit in using him for other ends, where, how much is it, I can't stop this person, so I'm going along with it, versus what could I do to have stopped the thing, versus what is my responsibility regardless, because I am not the moral compass of this other person. It's a similar situation between Shuichi and Claire.
Mm-hmm.
And, because there is the question of how much control does she have in this group? She doesn't seem to like she throws weight around and people are behoovent to many of the things that she says, but she doesn't seem to try to take a leadership role. So could she stop the group if she wanted to? Or, is there stuff that we don't know about, which, I mean, that goes without saying, but...
Oh, it's implied there's a lot we don't know about because when Elena shows up, Shuichi instantly and continues to be in full violence mode. That's our enemy. She's done all these horrible things to me. I need to kill her. I have to destroy her. And Chihiro inside of the fused being is looking at her like, I don't know who this person is.
Oh, wait, no. There's a bunch of your memories in here.
I feel no desire to kill her. Wait, I'm getting some of Shuichi's memories from before the plot, and he's with Elena, and what? Anyway, one way or another, I don't want to kill her, and since we now are at cross purposes, the fused body loses power and collapses, which I thought was super cool.
Oh yeah, I love this sequence.
Because that's when we get Chihiro standing in front of their gun to block it from hitting Elena, and so it's like, nope, we're done.
No, she's standing in front of the vision of Shuichi and like holding a hand to his chest, like holding him back.
Yeah, she stands in front of the guns, but when like that visual metaphor isn't enough, she reaches out and touches the psychic mind Shuichi.
You know what, Jacob? I believe you, because I believe Gleipnir would double dip on the visual metaphor.
Who's subtlety and how do I kill them?
But anyway, we kind of cut after they unfuse because Shuichi goes unconscious and Chihiro's pretending to be unconscious for some degree of time when the crew finds them, because Claire finishes her, hey, hold on, let me wrap my hair around your throat real quick bit. Oh, yeah, we better go get my boyfriend. Not my boyfriend. He's more important than a boyfriend. He's my other half.
Hey, wait a minute. Where is Shuichi? Oh, he and the foxgirl left like an hour ago. They what?
Oh, don't worry. It's fine. He can go off and be nice to some girl. They don't have what I have, the ability for me to get inside him. We have such an unbreakable bond. And actually, he's nothing without me. And I'm like, Claire, stop saying the metaphors out loud.
She's saying all this. She's being very confident that, like, whatever, I'm the only one who can really connect with him. And then they all go out to look for the two missing members of the group and find the remains of the battlefield and suit form Shuichi just kind of laying there. They unzip him and find the naked Chia inside, and Claire just looks shattered.
We also find that telescope head guy can download the things that he sees.
I forgot. That's right. He has the video, and he's just like, that homewrecker came in and seduced her. And then Claire's just watching the video. It looks like she's the one who initiated this. Also,
he doesn't show the part where
he specifically edits it. He stops recording it. I don't know which one.
He stops the playback before it gets overtly sexual, but Claire is also still looking at this like, yeah, kind of like it's the other way around. Because she doesn't even need the whole video to realize what's going on, because, well, it's obvious.
I'm very upset, but I'm not going to let people know I'm upset. She's also not upset because they have such a deep connection. No one could ever. That's the entire time is her talking about what a deep connection they have, how he's her other half. He's way more than a boyfriend. Whereas when he was asked if Claire was his girlfriend, he's like, no, she's not my girlfriend. We just are like partners who work together. So it's like he downgraded their relationship. She upgraded their relationship.
Yeah, because she is distraught when they find the battlefield, wondering if he's okay.
Yeah, this is the next point where her mask slips because she is claimed vociferously regularly that she doesn't actually care about Shuichi, but the idea that he might be dead
fills her with terror.
Yeah, it has a serious and immediate effect on her where she kind of forgets there's someone to wear the mask around.
Mm-hmm.
Nick from Left 4 Dead is there with her.
Yeah, another member of the group, Yota. He wears a pinstripe suit and is a womanizer, and he's
is he? He kind of just says Claire's his type, like nothing else indicates he's a womanizer. He's
there's
around Chihiro.
There's a difference between being a womanizer and being desperate. I got desperation.
Yeah, I got desperate vibes.
He's flirting with Claire. Like,
I think you're more on the money with that one. Yeah.
Oh, to be fair, he also does immediately point out, oh, by the way, our boss is a raging lesbian. And he's just like, okay, cool. Not going to waste my time. Yep. Well, maybe you're right, actually. I think that happens, by the way, once they rescue him. But
yeah,
it's all happening now. So they find him. They find Chihiro inside him. And
buck naked.
Yeah, Claire's like, we haven't even done that yet, which she doesn't say anything about, but man, does she bring up sex very frequently as a bargaining tool, but it's really a manipulation because she constantly goes, haha, just kidding. Why do you think I was being serious?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then gets mad that he's not more on board with the idea.
Because your boundaries.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. We're starting to see the real Claire, and she is not nearly as cold as she pretends to be. She wants to be the cold, manipulative seductress who's in total control, but she has had a genuine affection for Shuichi the entire time.
She's also still hot-headed and manipulative. Like, there's no...
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There's no cold, manipulative, and normal girl. It's cold, manipulative, and manipulative bitch. Like, it's...
Yep.
But anyway, they rescue him. Shuichi has no memories past getting
crushed.
He remembers her climbing into the suit and then the fight starting. He never expressly says that he remembers anything else, and it's not really implied. However, foxgirl Chihiro, she does remember everything that happened, but she implies that she doesn't in order to try and
not get beaten to death by Claire.
And I love Claire in this scene because she's half jealous girlfriend, half actual Sherlock Holmes. And she deduces by the footprint pattern that it was two very strong creatures fighting, and that one of them might have been Chihiro inside of Shuichi, because
the level of destruction made everybody else think that it was a team battle.
But it's like, no, this was two people fighting. And if it's two really strong people, Shuichi could be one of those, but then that would mean Chihiro took over him and was super strong with him. God damn it. Whether or not she has any reason to believe this is true, jealous girlfriend energy is causing her to just immediately assume this is the case.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that she's right doesn't change the fact that she's coming to this conclusion via jealous girlfriend energy.
Also, the manga just loves making her a genius occasionally for some reason, so, like, sure, why not?
Every dog has his day.
Is this when Shuichi starts pretty early, but I think when they're heading home is the first time we get, like, by the way, I'm not the main character of this story. I know you may have been confused because I'm currently the center of a love triangle. Shut up.
A love rectangle.
Who else?
Claire's sister, and Foxgirl.
Oh, to be fair, at this point, we haven't revealed Claire's sister is into Shuichi.
We have not.
No, we have from last time.
Yeah, you're right.
Last time, I was the one who was supposed to be inside you.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
That's pretty overt.
And there's also Telescope Cuckboy, but he's not.
He
really
does not
here.
count.
He doesn't count.
He does not count.
If you're masturbating on the outside, you're not a participant.
Oh my God. Why?
We here at the Overmanga Cast do not kink shame. We will, however, kink ask why.
We get introduced to the rest of the group, including the Sasquatch, Druid Boy Tellum. His name is Isao. He turns into a big hulking bear thing, but he's actually completely soft and would never punch anybody. But he does have the power to make plants grow.
I was so confused because they look nothing alike. I thought they were two separate characters, and I'm like, where's like the Juggernaut? Where'd he go?
Oh, he de-transformed.
Yeah, there's like 3 action lines to denote he transforms. I only noticed that was supposed to be your hint at that this is the same character after having reread it with the later scenes context. It's not very clear.
I want to say it starts right here and going through like the entire next arc. The manga kind of has a problem where it will just suddenly skip time and you're just expected to assume what happened, which is normally fine. But then it will also like have characters change clothes. We'll have characters like just transform. And it's like, I have trouble because these people don't all look identical. So I'm like, what's going on? Because they decide to go on an adventure. But like, this is where it starts is Claire keeps switching between her hiking outfit and her swimsuit. And I don't know when she has time to change. Like, I genuinely don't know when she's having time to strip the like outerwear
and get into the new outfit.
Because things will happen like in the second it needs to happen. So I don't know.
I would presume she's wearing the swimsuit under her.
Yeah. I'm not saying she has to change. I'm saying she has to take off the outer layer, though, is the thing. Like, and she's reacting to things like they're getting shot at, and she quickly jumps into the mech. Shinji.
Shinji is the mech in this version.
Oh, you're right.
This is the weirdest Evangelion fan fiction I've ever seen.
I think I've read the Evangelion fan fiction where Shinji's fisted by his dad.
Why? Oh.
Anyway, Isao is very, very stutteringly flirting with Shuichi, who is it's all bouncing off of him.
I thought it was so cute, but he's just oh nope, I don't stand a chance in this. Like,
it's so cute.
The poor guy.
He's just like, hey, are you gay? Maybe bi? Like, is there anything we could work around with that?
But he's like, oh, let me demonstrate my power to grow plants. Here, I happen to have some seeds in my pocket, and I made this bouquet for you. Thanks.
Oh, cool. I'll give it to my girlfriend.
Claire.
Claire.
And oh yeah. And then the last member of the group, Invisigirl, Miku.
She sure exists.
Yep.
Does she?
She is introduced and does nothing.
Is she in the next arc? Like, I'm genuinely not sure.
I think the blanket that represents her is, but she does nothing.
Yeah, she's physically there, but
they took a mini training arc where they're showing off his powers, and they're like, oh, so other people can get in. What if those people have powers as well? Oh, what if she got in and she turned invisible? Would that turn him invisible? No, it's gross to go inside someone's flesh lips. And then Koyanagi's just like, hold on, just don't knock it before you try it.
Oh my god.
Claire ends up confronting Chio like, you do remember what happened. Explain to me. What were you doing while you were banging my boyfriend?
The fact that's a sentence that actually makes sense in context really goes to show what kind of a series Gleipnir is.
I just happened to climb into him naked in order to facilitate the search for the wallet, and then the fight happened. I don't know what you're on about. No, without me, Shuichi can't fight. He's too much of a bottom to do anything. He can't hurt anyone.
Oh,
Yeah.
You don't understand. You're the one who needs him. He's so much more without you. In fact, we connected on such a deep level, you'll never, ever connect.
You can't become one with him.
I was inside him and he was inside me. Chihiro, what the f-?
And then she just walks away.
Well, and this scene right here is why I'm thinking early Chihiro was an act she was doing to be like, oh, yeah, I'm so innocent. Boys like that, right? Because, like, she gets vicious in this scene of like, oh, no, you don't own him.
And it's worded to be like, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. But the actual words are so cutting.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You're too different from him. You can't become one. What does that mean? And Claire's just sulking the whole way home. And Shuichi's like, she's mad at me. She's mad at me because I banged another girl.
She's mad at me because some other girl rubbed her naked vagina on me.
And this is so
women,
dumb.
am I right?
Oh my, what?
This is so dumb, but I love it. Claire has them go get some udon, and the udon is kitsune udon.
That is funny.
Which I thought was freaking hilarious.
Oh no.
Oh.
But they go and eat that at the riverside. And Claire, also being entirely unsubtle, asks, so which one of us felt better to have inside of you, her or me?
With a suspicious pose.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people rubbing themselves through their pants when discussing other people being in Shuichi.
Very odd.
I love immediately when Shuichi's like, I can't possibly answer. That's what are you even talking about? And she's like, I'm willing to do something for you. I'm willing to do sex things to you. Just tell me I'm better than her. And I'm like, holy shit.
You don't understand.
Obviously, that's not what actually happened, but it is what actually happened.
It's pretty blatant because like Shuichi's sitting and she's standing. It's just like she steps in front of him, grabs his head, and is bringing it near her crotch. Like, I wouldn't mind doing something with you that feels a little better. Well, JK.
Haha, just kidding. Haha, laugh. Haha.
Come on, laugh. Eat your noodles. They're going to get soggy.
Haha, the joke is I would have sex with you. Haha.
Because Claire might be a bit possessive.
Yes.
And manipulative.
I don't know. I feel like this might be a trait that runs in the family.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
Just
get
a
there.
little bit. And we end this chapter with Elena getting a phone call, and it is Geo calling her. How did you get this number? Oh, I read it from Shuichi's memories. Shuichi doesn't have my number. Oh, yes, he does. Well, kind of not really. There's a U-shaped hole in his memories, and since I was able to objectively view them from the outside while we were fused, it kind of let me piece together the hidden backstory that he knew you once and then forgot about you. And he's real sad about it.
It's so much worse than that, Sam. She literally tells this woman over the phone, there's a U-shaped hole in his heart, and Elena starts crying.
Uh-huh. She is distraught.
There's a U-shaped hole in his heart that he's just filling with random women, including your sister and most recently me. Like, very deeply me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Like,
god.
if anyone was possibly going to fill the U-shaped hole in his heart, I'm a pretty close bet.
Oh my god, yes.
I just love Elena. Like, were you the one who became one with Shuichi? And she's got the same possessive, angry face that Claire did.
I love how stupid Chihiro is for calling the enemy, and I half expecting her because she's just on like a rooftop or something, and I'm like, okay, so she's gonna have Vine Lady swoop out of nowhere and kill her because she can track the calls at this point. Like, I would not be surprised if Chihiro died right here. But I guess they just did a fusion, so why?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Also, there's been a lot of implication that Elena isn't like she is a murderer. She is willing to kill, but she doesn't like it or do it arbitrarily.
Yeah, well, this is really the scene where we get that, because up to this point, she really seemed more like a stalker.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the thing that actually started changing the viewpoint on that. And that's actually something that I've noticed is a pretty common thing in Gleipnir. There is a situation presented, and you can make some inferences, but there's a lot of missing information. And then someone jumps to a freaking insane conclusion, and the story continues barreling along that path, not even considering any of the other options, when it becomes painfully obvious that no, the reality of the situation is not that, and you are heading towards a cliff. Which everything about Elena is, like, this scene is saying that, basically, because the immediate view of her, like I said, is stalker, but it becomes clear from the memories that Chihiro saw that there's more to Elena and Shuichi's relationship than they actually did have a relationship. They knew each other. They were close.
In fact, from the memories we see at this point, it looks like they were dating.
Yeah.
Because like we get a text message log where just only Elena's name is blacked out. And it's like what you would text like a girlfriend. Like, it's very personal. Like, it's.
Mm-hmm. She said she laughed at this and it was kind of embarrassing. I saw her and she was in a cute outfit. She looked embarrassed when this happened.
It is kind of framed like the sniper shot is coming, but what this scene does, which again sort of goes into that idea that Gleipnir presents a situation, then reveals it's not what it first appeared to be. You know, this is where Elena then kind of explains the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Elena kind of lore dumps again.
I just gotta say, I've got a few complaints about the art, mainly the fact that it's sometimes really hard to tell characters apart. But I did really like this one particular page turn while Chihiro is explaining how she was able to piece together the, Elena-shaped hole in his memories. There's this kind of fuzzy, like TV screen view of Elena casually smiling in a school uniform, having a grand old time. Page turn, Elena half transformed into a monster, sobbing, looking disheveled. It great juxtaposition.
So we get the lore dump about how, what do you even want the wish for? And 100 coins. How many monsters have you found? Each one of those people must have found 1 coin. Doesn't 100 seem like an insanely small amount? What's to say someone hasn't already found 100 coins and made a wish?
Mm-hmm. Gain that ultimate power.
And then you're like, you're right, mangaka. 100 was an insanely low number to make your like long-running shonen battle manga about. Are you still trying to make this a shonen battle manga? You're definitely gonna try this arc.
I just really like how the vision in Chio's head of like this theoretical person, all powerful being who collected 100 coins and gained the wish, is a silhouette of a feminine shape with the boobs half on screen, giant hands reaching down to grab the world. I wonder if these people have complexes.
Not at all. They seem like very, very mentally stable, mentally healthy young individuals.
Sam, I'm insulted that you would imply anyone in Gleipnir might have some kind of complex or trauma that motivates their actions.
Y'all need therapy.
These aren't characters. This is trauma in the vague shape of a human.
It's like someone turned clones of H.P. Lovecraft into manga characters.
Not wrong. So far, nobody has lacked the constitution to do math, but I wouldn't be surprised if it came up.
I know about that.
I really appreciate that the town did something about that cat problem then. That's a dumb joke.
God damn it, Matt. This has been a pretty intensive return to Gleipnir. How about we take a quick break? We've got so much more to talk about in the next bit.
And surprisingly not that much.
The standard.
We'll be right back after this.
Hey, we're back from the break. Sam's indisposed at the moment, but don't worry, Matt's here to bring you back into Gleipnir. So, do we want to talk more about these people crawling up inside each other's guts?
I think we need to talk about the JoJo's reference first.
Oh yes, we're our resident JoJo's expert.
Who's never been on a JoJo's episode.
Weird how that works out.
I blocked out from my memory the time he was.
I just love how they display Shuichi and Claire's immense power by having them ora a tree. And then, like, yeah, it's pretty impressive how much they're able to, like, damage it and then knock it down. But considering the sheer destruction that happened last time, it really feels like they're Claire's trying way too hard to be cool.
Claire's not the OTP.
Mm-hmm.
She has been...
downgraded,
upstaged,
mm-hmm.
supplanted. That's the that's the $5 word for it that adults use.
We're not adults here. We're reading Gleipnir.
Oh, and Shuichi also took the oath at one point. So that's a thing.
To be fair, they really do just kind of show a panel of him getting a hair necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's weird.
So now he and Claire are a part of the group and will be decapitated if they betray the group. Telescope head Cuckman is now going to be even more hostile to Shuichi. But in true, totally healthy fashion, instead of directly addressing the beef he has with him, he's like, the guy that was killed last time, that was your initial contact with our group. It wasn't you that killed him. I just saw your fighting style as you beat up that tree. Our previous comrade was sliced in half. How did he die? And beats me, man. We took him out.
Yeah. I gotta point out, the entire time with this crew, I really don't understand why they were dealing with that other guy. That other guy was a creep. Like, he did not fit this group at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to admit, as soon as the focus started to steer clear of creeper weirdo, it just seemed like most of them were just, I don't know, I kind of want to say misfits, if that makes sense, but not.
I'm not gonna lie, because it had been so long, I forgot he was part of their group.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. This is also when we get the amazing scene where they remember that
Swordman exists.
Swordman, I'm blanking on. Oh, Sanbei. Sanbei exist, and basically they have a scene where like, should we tell them about Sanbei? No, don't you remember when we talked with Sanbei? And it cuts to Sanbei. Yeah, don't tell other people about me. That's weird. I'll die for you, Shuichi. You're a cool guy, but like other people just weigh you down.
You guys beat me in a fight, so I respect you, and I'll join you in your cause. But don't assume that I will join up with any other groups that you become a part of, because they have not proven themselves to me in battle.
Could they prove themselves to you in battle? No, that sounds really time consuming. I don't want to deal with that. Okay, we'll just keep you secret now. Because, spoiler alert, we don't want to explain why we have a really strong friend.
Yeah.
I guess that's spoiler alert. That's the meta reason why Sanbei exists in the background.
He'll show up as a trump card at some point, or get wharfed one way or another.
Well, I mean, Claire says it out loud that he's their trump card.
I think I'm going to keep making this joke going forward, but it's around this point I really got the vibe that the mangaka for Gleipnir does not have an overarching plan and kind of writes bit to bit.
Yeah.
This arc is really, really bad about it.
I get the feeling that there is an idea, there's a endpoint they want to reach, but it's a little hazy on the actual getting there. But
then they decided, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I turned this into a shonen battle manga? And they didn't know what to do with that idea.
What if we battle royale this?
Kind of, but they don't even do that. Is the thing. We're getting into this. This arc's weird. Basically, they all decide that, hey, we all have plotted our map, and we realized that all of our coins were found within the path of the spaceship that crash landed. So you know how we were told by this alien that those coins are actually his like crewmates from the spaceship he was on? Well, then wouldn't most of them be where the spaceship landed? That seems like something everyone should have thought of. We're just thinking of it now.
The crash site. Surely nobody else will be waiting there for us as some sort of epic boss atop the mountain.
The crew's motivation here, because they say they're a weak crew, and they're constantly like, we need to make sure that I think for some reason, the only reason this makes sense is it must be their leader seems to think there's only 100 coins. Because as long as they can get them, they can stop someone with like malevolent ambitions from getting all the coins and making a wish. Because it's only when Chihiro goes, what if there's more than 100 coins?
And somebody has already acquired 100 of them.
Yeah. So I think that's the idea, and they're really just because they don't stand a chance against multiple things. So it's like, I don't know. They're going on a walk to the crater because that's what you got to do. That's where the plot's going. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, they're heading to the crash ship, Metroid Prime up in here, and as they're making their way up the mountain, they find a rock with some skull and crossbones paint on it, and it's like, there must be another crew of monsters here who have marked the edge of their territory. We will now proceed to walk around this because we don't want to get into a fight with these people.
But wait, Sam, what if that was the trap?
Oh no! Yeah,
we're now on an open field, and only weaklings would listen to a trail marker. So we've been diverted into a place that's easy to find, and they know we were scared of a warning sign. So
it makes sense, but it is a little on the contrived side.
While I was reading it, it was perfectly serviceable. Thinking back on it after reading the entire thing, I'm like, wait, that was kind of dumb. Like,
yeah, it feels a little contrived in retrospect.
I think that's a fair assessment. Because, I mean, the thing is, Gleipnir is like 85% vibe. So it really only needs to work in the moment.
The other 15% is ass shots.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And boobs. There's tons of boobs.
Oh, yes. Ass and TNA.
TNA.
Lots of TNA.
We really got to just make a separate podcast for all the hypersexual things we read.
Suggesting this for months.
Over MangaCast After Dark might, after this Halloween, Jesus. Huh?
We might just have to do it, yeah.
Reach out to us if you want us to do.
Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you want to see Over MangaCast After Dark?
If you want to see it, donate to the Patreon we don't have.
Send us $5 in an unmarked envelope. You can find us.
But yes, as they are heading up the more open trail, that's when Claire realizes, wait, we fell for a trap. Let's turn the hell around. And it's like, what do you mean we fell for a trap? I don't trust you at all. And this is Telescope Head Man talking. I don't trust you at all. What do you mean this is a trap? He looks up at a ridge, sees a whole bunch of shadows. Oh, it's a trap. Yeah, let's boogie.
But then they don't, because Leader Girl is all just like Koyanagi's just, yeah, but if it's a trap, I mean, everyone's looking for coins. That just means we got to go this way. So we're really good at escaping. So let's go ahead anyway. Because, like...
I thought Koyanagi was fine with them retreating once they're in the riverbed. She was fine with venturing forth into the enemy territory initially because they're good at escaping.
Her line's kind of ambiguous. It's basically just they're good at escaping.
Yeah.
So do they keep going forward while being good at escaping? Because the problem is the next chapter has a weird cut to them already encountering one of the enemies.
Yeah, I think
specifically it's a speedy guy who caught up with them.
They're in a forest is the thing, so they're clearly in a different scene.
Yeah, they had turned around and tried to run, and they were getting away, but then speedy spider guy, gropey man caught them.
I love this character because of how his teammates react to him after this whole thing. Where like, yeah, no, he really went too far. Really, everything he said kind of came off as creepy, and I'm like, okay, mangaka, you went too far with this character. I got you, because he just comes onto the scene going like, I love raping. It's basically his character. Like,
I'm gonna capture Leader Girl and start groping her tits.
Like, it's just insane. And then we get the reveal that fighting guy was actually very strong, and Shuichi didn't notice before how strong he was.
He'd been suppressing his power level as Yota takes off his shirt.
Well, yeah. No, it's not that he'd been suppressing his power level. It's that Shuichi didn't know what strength smelled like before he smelled those other really strong people, and was like, oh no, he's really strong. It was, and then he punches the
lower jaw off of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That allows them to flee. But they're like, oh, these guys mean business, because Spider Guy pulls out a severed head of another poor folk that they had captured and killed.
And goes as far as to say, I think she's your type of. She seems to be like you like blondes. She seems to be, your type of lady.
Saying that to Yota, yeah.
Did anyone spend way too long trying to figure out if we're supposed to know who this head is? Because they show the person that the head came from, but because everyone in this manga looks identical, like they look one of 5 character presets, I couldn't possibly know who blonde-haired ponytail with glasses was.
Yeah, I did the same.
I don't think we were supposed to know that character.
But then why show the flashback? Like, I don't know.
That's just a normal person is the vibe I got.
Yeah.
If they're on the mountain, they're probably a collector of some form. So,
well, I mean, that was their argument, is that they shut down anyone who crosses their territory.
That was someone who was in over their head and shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, but the problem is that person was killed by the boss. So it wasn't even killed by Spider Guy. So it's a weird scene. Everything with Spider Guy is weird.
It is. But it has Yota take off his shirt and punch the lower jaw off of Spider-Man, allowing the protag crew to flee.
Yeah, because his monster transformation is he's buff.
He's not even buff. He's very scrawny, but he takes off his shirt. He's got
his rad tattoos.
He's got some rad tattoos, and he move fast and punch hard.
Yep.
Yep. So they continue to flee. The mountain bandits catch up with Spider Guy, who is, unconscious in the forest. The leader of the bandits, Madoka Magica.
Yeah.
His name is Madoka. I found this guy interesting because he fit sort of the mold that a lot of Gleipnir characters have, which is because a lot of this is sort of like how much of a violent nature do you have? How much are you willing to give into it? How civilized do you pretend to be? this guy has attained the nirvana of fully embracing the violence, and he also completely cares for his crew. He is a dirtbag murderer, villain man, bandit in the mountains, but
he has loyalty. Like he is defined by his loyalty to the people who follow him.
He is ride or die.
I was about to say, he's kind of the opposite of the moral characters we've been introduced about, like, oh yeah, we're just good people who are becoming sinful because we need to bear the burden of others. And that's the lie they're telling themselves as they're like, no, I'm doing bad things because it's getting me what I want. He's not lying to himself at all. He's a dirtbag. But underneath that, the lie he's telling himself is that he's a dirtbag, but he gives a shit about people. Like,
yeah, because I really like the scene where they find, Spider Guy with his lower jaw knocked off, and all the other bandits are like, he's useless to us now. He probably can't even eat. We should kill him. It'd be a mercy. And Madoka's coming over like, you idiots. Don't you know that I wouldn't let any of my precious companions die? Your pain is my pain. And he reaches up and tears out his own incisor.
Yeah.
Just rips one of his own teeth out and says, now we're gonna find the people that beat up our poor innocent friend and kill them all, as he transforms into his monster form, which is Big Gorilla.
Hunga bunga.
Just big gorilla.
He is a mountain gorilla.
With a long tail is mainly why I'm...
We have to display how powerful he is, so we have Druid Boy conjure a big tree line of tall, sturdy trees.
Wow, what an amazing fortress. No one will ever get past that.
Madoka immediately snaps the trees in half and punches Druid Boy in the face, sending him flying into a wall to collapse and de-transform. Hey, you're the big guy. You probably beat up my friend, didn't you? As he rips one of the trees and turns it into a club and goes to brain him.
Nope, that'd be me. And then...
me. And okay, then I will brain you with the tree smack.
Yoda tries so hard to be cool and immediately gets walloped. And this is the scene I was mentioning earlier about what's up with Claire. Because at the beginning of this, she's in her outfit, and then she's in the swimsuit, and then she's inside Shuichi. And that all must have happened within a span of seconds.
She must have shouted to someone, hold on, I need to go and change real quick.
I mean, she's in the swimsuit when they're blowing the tree stand.
I might be thinking of the first scene with Madoka then, where he's threatening them and she jumps in, Shuichi, but whatever.
Yeah. This chapter also opens up with a seemingly random flashback of Claire in her school uniform walking home, finding some flowers and picking them.
Yeah, I guess they shoved that in here.
So that might be why you thought she was still in the normal outfit.
I'm definitely remembering her hiking outfit, which is the short shorts and a tank top. So that's a difference.
One way or another, she climbs into Shuichi. They're gonna square off to go fight. And the plan is to have the big gorilla get close enough that I can pull out my gun and shoot him. And what do you mean I missed?
I really appreciate this because it's them going, yeah, he's definitely a big threat. He's stronger than we can handle. We're going to have to play this smart and gamble. And then they gamble and immediately lose and get walloped. And I'm like, good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to be honest. I don't get the impression that the manga is trying to present Claire as a genius. She's someone who makes big bets, and
I'm saying occasionally she just makes a big genius play, and it's she's not gambling when she reverse analyze the footprint pattern to know who was fighting there. That's her smarter than the entire crowd. That's not her guessing. That's what I'm saying when I say the manga portrays her as being a genius, because clearly she was smarter than everyone else in that room.
There's a scene later of another character. Why I phrase that as her making big guesses, making big gambles. When we get a little bit later, I'll explain why I see it the way that I do. It is also kind of important that the protagonists can't die, because then the story ends. And that's usually the problem life and death stories bump into.
Conveniently, we're not looking at the protagonists currently.
Well, there is that. Shuichi's crippling self-deprecation aside, it is good to see main characters, making big bets that fail because kind of kills the stakes if they have 100% win rate on all of their Hail Marys.
Oh, don't worry, Jacob. They'll unbalance the scale soon enough.
One of the things that I really liked about this encounter is after they whiff the gunshot, Madoka in his big gorilla form takes the gun and is like, interesting. What happens if I shoot the girl in the motorcycle helmet? And Shuichi orders Claire to get out of the suit so he can de-transform, and it's a decently tense panel as
the gun goops into nothing.
Yeah, strictly speaking, Chihiro can die and the plot can continue. So she doesn't have main character shields to defend her. So when the hammer is falling as the last panel of the page, it's like, oh, is it actually going to happen? And then the gun, goops in his hand because she managed to get out of him so he could reverse the transformation in time. But decently tense little action sequence there. But by now, Shuichi has de-transformed and the rest of the bandits are here. Oh no.
Madoka gives them a perfectly reasonable ultimatum, though. As far as characters in Gleipnir go, this is as close to reasonable as anyone's gotten thus far, which is saying something.
Listen, I like your gumption. You can collect coins for me. However, you did beat up one of my boys, and as compensation for that slight, one of you has got to die. So go ahead, pick your sacrifice. I'll kill him. You don't got to worry about that part. Rest of you join my crew. We'll be square.
I love how Claire just immediately jumps up going hold on, question. You did batter two of our guys. If one of them is dead, can we just use them as a sacrifice?
Afraid not, sweetheart. Though, good question. You got a sharp mind there. You are now exempt from the sacrifice pool.
Rad. Okay, so who are we picking for a sacrifice? hey, weird camera cuckold guy. Are you on board with finding a sacrifice? It does make sense to have a sacrifice. Good job for volunteering. What?
Of course, only the people who agree with this plan to have a sacrifice happen
would be people we would sacrifice. Mm-hmm. And everyone else had already before that point said they weren't going to do that.
And Claire said that she would, but she was also just exempted from the pool.
Yes. How convenient that was.
She completely plays him.
Yeah. At which point Madoka is just like, girlie, you're great. You're just like us. A piece of shit. You'll fit in great. And again, that's why I really like Madoka. He is supremely sure of himself because he does not care about morality. He doesn't want to think of himself as a good person. He embraces being a dirtbag and being the most loyal dirtbag of them all.
See, but that's the thing I really like about this is it sets up that he's wrong. Mm-hmm. Claire isn't the same type of dirtbag they are. Claire is actually a dirtbag deep down, willing to do what it takes to be the villain. He's not, which is what is their whole conflict and what leads to his downfall is Claire's willing to be the villain and he's just no, I'm just a dirtbag. He's heart of gold and that gets him killed.
Yep. Claire is actually worse.
There's the thing though. Claire is a different kind of dirtbag than he is because he's willing to be, violent and I mean, she's violent and kills too. But the thing for Claire is whether or not push came to shove, she'd actually be willing to sacrifice someone. She wasn't put in the position where she has to answer that question. Mm-hmm. She did everything she did knowing what the reaction of everyone else would be. She never planned on the sacrifice coming up in the first place. All of that was designed to set up the plan that she ultimately goes with, which the key is the way in which Claire is a dirtbag is she's a manipulative, is that she's manipulative. She uses people. And here kind of ties into the whole, the exact meaning of betraying the group may very well matter for the hair thing. because Claire manipulated the entire group, but she also did it to save everybody. So she sees it as helping, even if she's betraying their trust in a sense.
Always good to have Jacob on the pod to defend the blonde-haired woman. I really appreciate this.
Listen.
No, I'm sure she's a good person deep down. Yep. That's the reason.
Deep down in them guts.
I don't think
Whoa. She is a saint. You will not besmirch her name.
I don't know if that's what Jake is arguing. I think he's agreeing with the assumption that Claire is a villain, because, oh boy, she is.
Yeah.
Look. That doesn't change the fact that she's blonde.
Fair.
True.
Yeah, let's get over the conclusion to this arc, because I didn't like it, but
It's definitely it is something. You remember those flowers that Claire picked in the random flashback? It turns out she still got them on her
in a quart-sized Ziploc baggie, which just, where has she been keeping that?
I don't think you need to know the answer to that question.
Don't
Continue reading.
Don't need the answer to.
Yep.
It's not like a small amount either. It's like,
Yeah, the problem here is the fact that she has this.
Mm-hmm.
The actual method is clever, but like, why did she have that? For what purpose?
like, especially because we're beating around the bush. She has a bag of oleander flowers, which she kind of does your very shonen battle manga thing, where she reads like a scientific fact trivia blurb about it. Like, did you know that most people have this very pretty flower, but it's actually a very highly potent toxin, but only if you burn the plant. It makes toxic smoke. Fun fact.
So I had Druid Boy use the bit of the flower that I had to create this huge field of it. And now, I'm sure you can tell where this is going, I'm going to set fire to it when the wind is going to blow the smoke down towards our enemies, and we'll make a run for it. Now,
I do appreciate that this plan hinges on the fact that wind never changes directions in the mountains. like, oh no, suddenly it shifted. We're all dead. Like, yeah, she gambles and wins hard on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they Druid Boy makes a big grove of flowers. They light it up and basically gas the entire enemy team. And the whole gamble she was doing was that if Madoka just kept charging, he would get out of the blast range and be able to attack them. Like, he's too close. He wouldn't die of the poison. The problem is Madoka deep down is a good guy who spends time helping his his boys,
Helping his crew.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that kills him. So he died because he did the right thing. And I'm like, Gleipnir, there you go. That's the moral you're teaching.
Yeah.
Don't be a chump.
The interesting thing here, from a character development standpoint for our protagonists or prospective characters, as Shuichi I'm sure would prefer to be called, is Shuichi comes over and he's not fully bought into what the plan is. He just knows that it's going to be something
Awful.
because it's a Claire plan. And he's like, is there anything I can help with? No, good boys like you shouldn't do terrible things like this. No, I don't think you understand. I want to help get everybody out of here, even if it's something terrible. I am trying to protect our team.
I am choosing to be an active participant in whatever this is because it's what gets us out of here, and I won't sideline myself, which again, it's non-linear, but it is character growth.
I'm tired of letting you carry all of our sin.
Yeah, I could have done without the fact they repeatedly mentioned like carrying all of the sin. And unfortunately, Gleipnir keeps that as like a running theme going forward. It's very heavy-handed.
It is. Yeah, I could have stood to have it be less overtly shouted, but overall,
Gleipnir is overt in everything it does, to be fair, but
yeah.
There are cases where I will often praise a series for wearing its metaphors on its sleeve, but that's usually in the case where it wears a simple metaphor on its sleeve and then has something beneath the surface. Gleipnir definitely has layers to it, but it does have a bad habit of saying it all out loud, which is taking that idea a bit too far.
I'm just saying, when how effective we see just committing a war crime is, you would think this very easy plan could just be repeated going forward. Like, one of the crew has a gas mask on. Like, just all get gas masks.
Who knows that it won't be?
I doubt that.
We haven't read another huge team battle yet.
It definitely can't be, because this was Deus Ex Machina, and it wasn't Deus Ex Machina because it wasn't an outside force, but it was the bag being there was dumb, but it didn't need to be there, so it's not. I didn't like this resolution. It's really where I'm coming from here.
The problem is Claire. Why did she have the bag in the first place? Like, that's ultimately what the problem is.
Claire, why did you randomly pick those oleander flowers walking home?
Because she knew the guy had the power to be a druid, and she knew that oleander flowers could be burned, or unless maybe she had them because she was planning. The problem is it's a poison that only works when it's like ignited. So it's not like she was planning to secretly poison someone, because hey, smoke this cigarette I made out of oleander. Like,
yeah, I think it's just something that she just had some kind of resourceful knowledge about and just, picked it up to have just in case.
Claire just keeps poison on her at all times, I guess.
She strikes me as that type of chick. I don't know.
Except I hate to tell you this. When your entire thing is I have a bunch of stuff hidden on my person, and your outfit is literally like a sheer, like, short shorts and a tank top or a swimsuit. Like
a swimsuit so tight we can see her belly button.
Like, it's skin tight attire. She's not hiding anything on her person. Like, God forbid she forgets she has it and like
gets reabsorbed.
Shuichi starts like absorbing it when it's inside him. Like, it's just, I don't know if this is true, but it felt like they were written into a corner of how do we deal with this giant force. But
actually,
I felt that too.
It also feels like they need her to do a big war crime so that Claire is a bad person, because we need to remind you that this isn't a shonen battle manga. Claire's a bad person, so let's have her commit a war crime.
Well, the point therein is the idea that Shuichi is participating too.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reason why Claire needs to commit a war crime.
We've already had Shuichi commit to doing violence, so I don't think gassing an entire crowd of people is really... There's a scene that happens later that I think is much more impactful, and really, you don't need this at I guess there's something to be said that the responsibility is there, but like, it's not as good as like the first time Claire forces Shuichi to murder a person. Like, this is
like, what, 4 or 5 times?
Yeah, this is Shuichi going like, oh man, my girlfriend's gonna set off a chlorine gas canister. Oh man, wouldn't it be like weird if I did it with her? And if we both turned the gas knob and kissed? Wow, wouldn't that be weird?
Suddenly I'm getting Netflix Death Note vibes, and I don't know how to feel about it.
Oh, Jacob, it gets so much better. You should totally come down the rabbit hole that is like crime dramas.
That is couples murder?
Yeah, like crime dramas. There's crazy crap on right now. Yeah, it gets weird.
I am so glad I'm a hermit.
Well, the good news is this is accessible from the safety of your home.
Where you don't need to be around violently dangerous people.
You could just be exposed to their ideas on our screen.
The magic of the modern world. Send help.
Anyway, Claire is talking to the alien because we need more people unwilling to take responsibility for the mass amounts of death that are happening.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I got a little confused here because the manga keeps flip-flopping between characters I can barely tell the difference between, all talking to the alien in flashbacks. And
here's where we get to the flashback.
And it's not clear when the timing takes place either. Like, I'm assuming these are sequential in order of appearing, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Elena talking to the alien is like Kuleshov effect cut between panels of the protag crew still hiking in the mountains. So,
because she also talks about the fact that Claire and Shuichi know who she is,
which is great because the alien's like, "Oh, hey, your little sister stopped by." You told them that, didn't you? I mean, I'm just an impartial mediator in this.
Oh, yeah. Because
I don't have any responsibility. I'm just handing out all these guns.
Isn't it fun to watch all these children shoot each other?
You're all coming up with such interesting and unique ways to use this power. It's so fun to watch. Isn't it like fascinating?
It's like the battle manga I keep reading.
Yeah.
So if I just kill you, all this stops, right? Well, no, not really. It won't undo anything that's already been done, and all the people who have powers are still out there, so if that'd really make you feel better. And Elena just de-transforms and starts crying. And the alien's just standing there smug as can be, and I fucking hate him.
Hey, Elena, I hate to break this to you. If you kill him, you stop it from progressing, because clearly he's still selling guns.
Uh-huh.
That being said, can you kill him?
That's the other question, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Alien is still the best character. I can't be convinced otherwise.
He says they're at equal power, but I think he's lying because
he's probably lying.
He also threatens to basically destroy the entire city if anybody pisses him off too much. So during the flashback, yeah.
So I think Elena could probably destroy the city. Is the thing, like, she's pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Well, we've not seen Titans clash yet. The closest we've gotten is like perfect fusion Shuichi against not Gara over there.
I mean, that looks like that could level a city, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. Like
yeah.
That's the closest we've come to a true clash of Titans in this series, and it was one of them was incomplete and the fight didn't finish. So
But yeah, let's hop into the manga deciding that they're gonna take Shuichi's advice that he isn't the protagonist and start giving us flashbacks from characters we haven't met yet's point of view, which I always love in manga or in fiction in general.
I was so confused, but like in a funny way, because a group of randos finds the crash site. They're like, yeah, let's go get those coins. Let's go. Whoa. And then because we haven't had enough just naked women in this reading yet, a random ghost lady hits out, just shows up. And then there's a dude with long hair. And he's like, hey, you guys can't go there and get those coins. Well, you're just one guy. We're a bunch of other monster guys. We'll kick your ass. Oh, good. You are bad guys. I guess that makes it okay for me to kill you. Let me summon my stand. Naked girl with Buster sword.
Well, he specifically says something that I think is kind of important. He's just like, I've already decided I was going to kill you. I don't like killing any more good people.
Yep. So I'm happy to have the retroactive justification that you guys are also violent. This definitely proves that I am the most stable and ordinary one of us all. I'm the real protagonist.
Yes, indubitably. Can't you tell by his hair? His protagonist hair.
Here's the thing. Because of his hair, I confused him with the guy on Elena's team who also has like blonde spiky hair.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
To the point, I thought Elena's team had made it to the crash site and were stopping other people. And I'm like, okay, is that his power? But then we cut to that guy relaying this story to Elena's team. And it's just like, wait, no. So he's telling a story about this guy who looks like him.
Mm-hmm.
Mangaka, learn to draw 5 different faces. I don't.
That's too hard. No.
I don't know how to draw faces. I'm just being a critic on the internet.
Glass houses and stones. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There are a lot of cases where characters are in a lot of mangas are really only differentiated by either a hair or clothing feature. So
the fact these two both have kind of like puffy blonde hair of about the same length, it is styled differently, to be fair, but
it's styled differently combined with the fact that they dress differently enough that I could tell them apart with scene juxtaposition, but it's not an invalid criticism to.
But here's the thing, Jacob. The scene transitions, so he could have just got out of the clothes that got ruined in the fight he was just in. Like it. I forgot Goku in training clothes and Goku without them are 2 different characters.
Yes, they're completely different characters.
To be fair, they are different characters in the games, but that's because the games just love having 19 different Gokus.
Oh, only 19. You sweet summer child. I think BT3's record was 25.
25 whole Gokus. This is the worst timeline. But yeah, not Kaido, geometric design shirt man with other spiky hair.
His fucking shirt.
He's like, hey, Elena, you gonna tell us about your dark backstory? Hey, Elena, you know the weird guy up at the top of the mountain defending the craft site, don't you? Hey, Elena, tell us your story. Tell the story. Tell the story. And she's just like, no. We'll flashback about it, though.
No, I'm not going to tell you, but the audience will be told somehow from the villain's perspective. Like, I just hate it when a manga decides to randomly give me other characters' flashbacks that none of the characters I follow know anything about. So me knowing this information doesn't... I guess you can create dramatic irony, but the problem is this manga doesn't do that with it. So it's like,
Yeah. So, we also learned, because like the main group is getting ready to turn back and head back down the mountain, because it's like, okay, so we escaped those guys. We're all pretty exhausted. Let's head home. Hey, what happened to Vore Telescope Man? So we're gonna all head home and not ask any questions.
I don't know. At this point, I think the manga's setting him up to have betrayed the group, but in a way that does...
He might justify it in his own heart that, you know, getting his totally justified vengeance against Shuichi
isn't betraying the group at large or something like that. Which someone pointing out the hypocrisy of that insta-killing him would not shock me for Gleipnir doing.
Claire wants to keep pressing forward, but especially because if we go back now, if any of the bandits survived, because we didn't stay behind to check for bodies, obviously, in the toxic smoke, they know our faces, they can hunt us down in town. Do we really want to go back now when we don't have enough coins for the wish? And it's here where Chio finally says, hey, did you ever consider there might be more than 100 coins and someone might already have 100? So we're going to turn back now.
Yeah, because I'm saying this team has a terrible plan, because their plan was, let's hike up the mountain and find the other 89 coins we need. Oh man, we're going to get 8 times as many coins as we've done over the 6 months of being a team in one day.
Well, I mean, that's why they broke down how many years at this point. They had like, 20-something coins, and how many years would it take for us at the rate that we are currently going?
Yeah, I guess.
They are aware.
I don't know. Like, but the problem is they know how outclassed they are is the other thing. Like, I don't know. But they quickly, because Chihiro was like, hey, there might be even more coins than that. So I think we're better off fighting the people who come after us rather than going into the murder death pit that is the top of the mountain. And they're all like, good point.
We are still like 50 levels shy of that. We are going back. And we have more of Shuichi's non-linear character growth, where when he's walking home with Claire, he's like, so do you think any of the bandits got away? Well, I don't know. And it's going to be a little scary until we can find out one way or another. Yeah, you're right. And that's kind of why I hope they all died. Because otherwise we're going to be living in fear that those guys will come after us. So
this is the most milquetoast I'm a bad boy. Like, oh man, I hope the people who are actively coming after us to kill us, if they were dead, that'd be better for us. Yes, right. Because they're not actively trying to kill you. Like, yep, you're a bad boy. Good job. Like, cool boy. Like, I don't.
Claire is like, she has a moment of emotional vulnerability where she's like, oh no, poor sweet summer child, I have corrupted you. I have stained your hands with blood, and now this truly is beginning to affect me. I'm sorry for getting you all wrapped up in this, but now I need to go and put my cool facade, my uncaring facade back on. So how about we go out tomorrow and see a movie? Don't we have baddies after us? Right, we'll rent a movie, and we'll watch it at my place, and then we'll...
That sounds completely cool, and I'm on board. Wait, no, I'm going to disagree with that for some reason.
Why would we do that? Why wouldn't we? And why did you transform when I said that?
Shut up.
Haha, I was just kidding. Haha.
No, she does not.
Yeah, she doesn't. I was just kidding that one. She's just mad.
Why wouldn't you do it with me? You did it with Helmet Girl, Baka. Yeah, start storming off.
I was about to say the I was just kidding was the like, oh,
that was last time.
No, I'm saying it was implicitly there in that her reaction was, I was just trying to get you to give a positive reaction so I could be upset that you banged Chihiro. It's not a genuine offer is the thing. Like it's, no, I'm still mad about other girl is the deal. She's still
possessive.
She's tugging on the string she can control him by.
Why are guys so complicated?
Why doesn't he want to watch a movie and then fuck?
Netflix and chill.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then I love how the rest of this chapter is Shuichi's resolution that I hope all those bandits died, immediately challenged as soon as consequences come a knocking. Yeah. Because he goes to school the next day and one of the upperclassmen didn't show up. Or the next day. And he's like, oh no. That indiscriminate mass killing I did. Oh no.
Had consequences. You know, this is the reason why I don't I like the direction Shuichi's character is going because it is milquetoast. Like that's kind of the point. He had no spine. He had no identity. So he's trying to play a part and then, oh no, consequences. And he immediately starts shrinking back into his comfort zone because he can't handle it. Of course, it's nothing substantive. He's never done anything before.
Also, get this. It's way easier to kill when you're not looking at the victim. Just setting fire to something you know will cause dangerous smoke that can kill people and watching it drift away. Way easier to do than actively watching the face of somebody that you are in the process of ending the life of.
Also, it was his friend is the thing. Like,
that's also an important factor.
Yeah, so it's a combination of all of those factors, or it's a combination of, oh, wait a minute, the direct consequences of what I did. Oh, and it was someone I knew and was friends with. Oh no, wait, why would my friend who is such a chill guy be with those murderous mountain bandits? No, surely I'm just correlating things. This isn't actually what happened. He's probably just sick or something. Hey, did you hear about that burned body they found in the trenches outside town? Yeah, dental records say it might be our upperclassmen.
Oh, no.
Welp.
And then conveniently, one of the mountain bandits, Swordman, we didn't mention him, but he was like Madoka's right-hand man. He shows up and is like, I'm here to avenge my leader who died saving my companions from the fiery death Freckles Girl created. Oh, cool. Did you happen to know this guy? What? Yeah, he was a part of our group. That doesn't make any sense. He was a chill guy.
Guess you didn't really know on them. Okay, then I'll tell you. I lit the fire.
Oh. Well, I mean, we still really want to kill the girl who was with you. Hold on. Can I take a phone call?
Out of the blue, I was just like, are you serious now?
And the guy who like got basically walloped and is just like, just go ahead and kill me. He's just like, no, go ahead, take the call. It's fine.
Phone calls.
And then it's Claire, and she's just like, yeah, so how's it going? She's like, hey babe, I'm in the middle of something right now. Hold on, is that her? Is she at the school without you protecting her? I'm gonna go kill her now. And he's just like, oh no, do you need me to help resolve this? Nah, I'm solving it. And then just on the phone shoots the guy in the back as he's running to go kill Claire. And like, this is the scene I was talking about that's so much more impactful and shows like the conviction. I mean, this was a really cool scene. I liked this where he's on the phone going like, nope, I'm actually making the decision. This isn't a heat of the moment thing. This is a pragmatic, this is better for everyone if he's gone kind of deal.
Yeah.
Someone has to be the adult in this room.
And it's not anybody in this room.
No.
But yeah, so he ganks him, and then
this is interspersed with the big flashback, which I think is partly from the alien's perspective.
This first section gives us a taste of what the flashback is going to be about, and that part is the alien's perspective. But after the scene with Shuichi,
yeah, dear listener, I'm just going to forewarn you right now. This next arc's confusing to describe. There's a lot of flashbacks.
We will do our best. Also, it introduces like 4 more characters.
Yeah, a whole bunch of characters we've not met before or we've met and don't remember the names of. If a manga has over 4 characters, I don't remember the names of anybody.
Hanako is the first one that we get introduced to because she's the one that's speaking with the alien.
She's also the first person to find a coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is the first one to find a coin and find the alien. So really, it's all her fault. But
Because we find out later that the kind of rundown house she's living at is next to the seedy motel that the alien lives at.
mm-hmm.
And she's also the one who has the entire idea for a battle royale. It's kind of weird how much Hanako is to blame for the current. Like, we had those flashbacks of like, yes, the alien's doing it because he likes manga. But no, it's Hanako is just like, no, wouldn't that be really cool?
Well, that actually is another case where the manga presents something, a conclusion is jumped to, and this is a case where actually we, the audience, are the ones who do it, and then it's revealed that it is at once more complicated and more simple than that, because we were all convinced that the whole battle royale and the coins being the crewmates thing was all complete BS, and the alien was like planning to terraform the planet or something. Like, I remember that distinctly being one of our theories. And no, he's just lazy and doesn't like his crewmates. That's the reason why he didn't do it himself. And he says that in a private moment, so I'm inclined to believe it.
I think last time we kind of did a whole thing about like, oh, what if they're actually like a demon and he's going for people's souls and he's just pretending to be an alien? He still might be pretending to be an alien, but I don't know. The monologue he goes on about how my people have been trapped in their stasis so long they no longer know what it's like to dream is just so generically space alien for a manga that I kind of have abandoned my earlier hopes that it's actually a demon with soul coins. But yeah. So basically, Hanako is just like, hey, I found this coin. Oh, yeah, that's one of my friends. I'm an alien. I can turn into a penis monster.
That's really weird.
That is what an alien looks like.
Yep. That is indeed.
To be fair, that's actually just what cartoon aliens look like in like children's cartoons in Japan, is octopus men.
Yep.
I mean, they're pretty weird looking. I give them that.
Yeah, and basically the whole thing is she's just talking with him. Like, yeah, manga's really cool. Hey, I got an idea. Since you're willing to give out wishes, because you know, they just do a huge lore dump about the aliens that I really didn't think was necessary.
Yeah, it feels like an extension of the nanomachines, son, that we got that explained the monster transformations from last time. Like a sort of quick reminder in case you forgot with all the random shonen bullshit that happened.
Yeah, and like, the whole thing is Hanako's just like, hey, I think you should find your friends because it's bad to be alone. So I've got some friends here. I'll show you a picture of all of them. Remember this for later. If you're me, you won't.
Here's a picture of all my friends, including Shuichi and Elena. And that murderer boy.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you remember, it's that dude who could be either Elena's friend or the guy at the top of the mountain. He's wearing a different outfit. It could be a third person.
It could.
They're all good people.
And I have a wish, and I've got an idea. Since you're just giving out wishes for coins, you should make a vending machine where people can put their coins in for wishes. And he's just like, that makes a lot of sense. Except I think the exchange rate on this is really bad. So after your wish, I'm going to let other people have wishes for 100 coins.
Mm-hmm.
You should establish that at some point. Maybe in a future flashback. I don't know. But
maybe.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So Hanako has a wish.
Mm-hmm. She has a wish, and we're not told what it is. Instead, we cut to Kaito, who is having his own flashback in his lonely mountain vigil, where he's looking at a picture of, the group of friends on his phone. He's like, I am the protagonist of this story, and the ending has already been written. And like, okay, dude. Edgy boy.
He is over dramatic, edgy, and I I don't think you're supposed to take him seriously.
I think the flashback leads me to believe you are taking him seriously to an extent.
You're supposed to take him seriously as a physical threat.
As a physical threat, but you're not supposed to take his nonsense seriously. Like the whole reason why he's a problem is because he's an edgy bitch who takes himself too seriously. That's ultimately what the problem was from the very beginning.
I don't know at this point, considering where we get with his backstory.
So we open up with his flashback, which is he's walking home with one of the other boys from the picture, the one that isn't Shuichi. I don't think we ever learned this guy's name. Actually,
he has a name. I don't know.
He's the one in the cloak with Elena, with Elena's group. I'm pretty sure he is.
They established that no, these people weren't friends in high school. Which is what I was wondering, going like, wait, no, how does Shuichi have different friends then? Because
it's in middle school. There's like it's
essentially summer school.
It's supposed to be a cram school, but it's really a daycare.
Yeah, because they're out at like the creek playing. It's like they're not cramming.
Yeah.
At least not schoolwork.
It's revealed that they're all from like different neighborhoods and different schools, but this like summer school happened to be in like
enough of a central they live in rural towns.
Yeah, so they all met there and became friends.
It's kind of implied that it's a cram school that's cheaper than a daycare, which implies they're also all from like lower income families.
Yeah,
which I don't think jives completely with Hanako's backstory, but
no, it's Ayako. It's Ayako who's the one where that's
Aiko's family has money, but everyone else is poor, so it makes sense that they'd go to this fake cram school that's really just a daycare center. I guess Ayako's mom and dad both have careers is why.
It's also implied Aiko, considering what happens to Aiko, it's kind of implied that her family doesn't care about her very much.
I don't think we have enough information to know that.
We're not given the whole story because there's implications that she has a loving home. There's also implications that she has parents who aren't present in her life. Hanako and her boyfriend are the two who knew her the best.
Brown hair boy was dating Aiko, and he mentions that she had been acting strange lately. And so Kaito's like, weird, what do you mean? Well, sometimes it seems like she's a different person. I don't know what's going on, but it's weird. Hey, it has been a while since we've had the whole gang back together. We should all meet up. After a quick flashback of them, playing in the creek during ostensibly summer school, it's like, yeah, let's all meet up again. That sounds like it would be fun. All right, so we've got you and me, and we've got Ayako here, and she doesn't seem that different. She's still peppy and full of energy, smiling and happy. And oh, hey, Shuichi and Elena showing up at the same time.
Yeah, this is where it's very strongly implied that Shuichi and Elena are dating. Like,
yeah,
they don't say it outright, but it's pretty clear.
They don't say it like Aiko and her boyfriend, so I guess they're not official. But man, do they?
Yeah,
it is everything but by all appearances. It's like, hey, so we're all hanging out. We're all catching up. Where's Hanukkah? She's not here. Huh. Yeah, I haven't really been able to get into contact with her. And then brown-haired boy is like, yeah, look, I couldn't find a good moment to bring this up, but her dad went to jail for murder and her mom ran out on her and she was forced to move and live with family far away. So it's kind of impossible to get a hold of her right now. I'm sorry, what?
Why do I know nothing about what's going on? Well, Kaito, you're actually in a good school, so you're constantly studying. You actually don't know anything about what's going on in life. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I think the implication is supposed to be that Kaito is self-centered considering his protagonist syndrome, so...
Yeah.
I mean, he also says, why aren't we studying? We didn't do any studying. I'm glad I could move to a different school where I could actually get studying done. Like, that's why he's self-centered, is because he's focused on studying. Like, he's focused on achievement. It's not like he was just dicking around masturbating like Cuck-kun.
But it's like, as they're all kind of glumly standing about after this dangerous piece of information is revealed, it's like Aiko's kind of playing with her own hair and a dramatic zoom in on the eye. Kaito has noticed something. What's going on? Anyway, why are we being so glum? It's a shame Hanako can't make it, but let's have a fun day, everybody. Yeah, we'll go to karaoke. Why did she do that very specific tick that Hanako always did?
Also, just me thumbing through the manga as we're doing this, I did actually notice they did establish that was one of Hanako's habits before this point. I was going to complain about that being an informed character trait, but no, they actually...
I also missed that, so...
It was during talking with the alien when she was saying you could grant wishes.
Oh, yeah, I totally missed that.
I did first read through too as well.
Okay, and that's how, like...
Because I thought they had established her playing with her hair tick in the scene where it was relevant.
I see. Yeah, I thought the same thing, but... Okay, no, I had legitimately missed that on my read. Kaito, oh boy, this man, he
So here's the thing. He has this really bad habit of leaping to insane conclusions based off of incomplete information.
What was that you mentioned earlier, Jake?
about Claire, the reason I say that she takes high risk bets even when it comes to detective work, he correctly guesses that we have like a body swap situation. He lucked out on being right on that. That required some supernatural shit he did not know existed.
Mm-hmm.
And he will continue to make incredibly high-risk deductive guesses, and they won't all be correct.
Isn't it implied he found the alien on his own?
He looks for the alien because he thinks that a body swap happened. He is flying by the seat of his pants.
He tails Aiko, air quotes, because it's really Hanukkah. He is correct that it's a body swap, but he tails her back to the alien's place and then confronts the alien after she leaves. At which point the alien's like, "Oh yeah, no, that's totally what happened. Hanukkah is transformed into Aiko. It was her wish. I will provide no further context and allow you to come to your own conclusions. Obviously, it was a murder."
I mean, to be fair, that doesn't necessitate supernatural thing. Like they haven't seen each other in a few years. It could literally be she
could have like plastic surgeryed herself and
maybe not even that, just dyed her hair, and it's like because Kaito's completely removed from how.
So it does make sense that he would tail her to try to confirm his suspicions.
Yeah.
It could literally just be everyone saying they have no idea what's up with Hanako, and he's just like, then why is she acting like Hanako? Like there's something not being told to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He does learn by confronting the alien. It's like, yeah, that's what happened. Hanako transformed into Aiko. I'm really sick of explaining this whole alien thing, so all you kids piss off and stop bothering me. He transforms into a big murder monster to try to intimidate them. It's pretty freaky.
Is it the same murder monster that one guy transforms when they fight with Sanbei?
It definitely looks similar.
Like, yeah.
It's also the same murder monster that's at the end of our reading. So like I don't know. They reuse character designs for the mooks, which I think is what they're actually meaning when you're not really sure what you wished for. You become kind of this amorphous blob.
Yeah, that's similar to the alien.
It's just like you wish for power. Okay.
This is what power means to me, the alien.
Mm-hmm. And
because it's not like genie wishes. It's like a dude doing things.
Yeah.
So Kaito managed to get, everybody except Hanako, Aiko there for the explanation. And brown hair boy, Shuichi, and Elena are like, okay, I'm still trying to process the entire alien thing. What's going on? She definitely killed and replaced Aiko. Hold on a second.
That seems like a really insane conclusion to immediately leap to with minimal context.
Yeah, Kaito, don't go making insane conclusions. You might not like the road it goes down. Wait a second.
I mean, it makes sense. I know that Hanako is into you, brown-haired guys, so she would be jealous of Aiko and kill and replace her because Aiko was also rich and had like a family, and Hanako was poor and we found out didn't have her family. It all makes sense, I guess, but like, and it's at this point the rest of the friend group becomes really reticent, and it's just like, look, I get that you're right, and because this is a supernatural situation, we're not going to be able to like tell authorities easily about this. Look, man, can't we just
move on?
Can't we just drop it? And like, that's so insane to say, unless you have the galaxy brain that all the friend group except for Kaito has, where they knew.
Kaito goes to confront Hanukkah at the old school where she's having lunch over the grave of Aiko. And it's like, is that where you buried her? And he manages to basically ask all the questions of, did you kill her, without actually saying those words. And so, of course, she responds.
Yeah, there's some unfortunate question and answering going on here, because it's essentially, is this where you buried her? Oh, yeah. Well, what are you going to do? I forget the middle one, but it essentially comes down to just like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. She's gone now.
He wants her to go back to being Hanako.
Mm-hmm.
And she says it's too late. I can't.
She's already gone. And that's when he loops a noose over her neck and hangs her. Or, wait, no, he doesn't hang her.
He strangles her and then...
Yeah, he garrots her.
He hangs the body afterward to make it look like a suicide.
Directly over the other body of Aiko, so no one will suspect anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost certainly not what happens, but that's just my headcanon. They'll just think there was an accidental dupe in the Matrix. Oh man, she died and dropped 2 corpses. Well,
weird.
What are you gonna do?
And it's there.
That's a weird glitch.
And it's then when brown-haired boy, who his name is Naoto, I finally remembered it. He goes to speak with Kaito, and he's like, "So Aiko is dead. Imagine that. Yeah, I heard it was a suicide. I'm sorry for your loss." And it's like, Kaito is like, "Yeah, I made it look like that, so I'm not surprised to hear this." And that's when Naoto says, "She left a note." I'm sorry, what? Yeah, she left a note. It had been written a while ago, addressed to Hanaka. So it looks like Hanaka didn't kill Aiko. She killed herself. At which point Kaito's like, "Oh, no."
If he wasn't so deep in his protagonist complex, he might have, communicated with his friends.
Mm-hmm. At which point we get the rest of the flashback from the alien's perspective, where Hanaka explains that she had been just as shocked and surprised about Aiko's suicide as the rest of them would be. And she's like, "Can you give me the ability to transform into her? Nobody would mind if I disappeared, but if I can become her, then it would be like she never left.
And then I can be there for everyone else in her place."
Which requires its own unpacking, but it came from a place of like care for her friends.
It comes from a place of care for her friends, but there's also a level of I don't matter that connects her to Shuichi.
Yeah.
Which, like, there's a lot of interconnected, self-worth is a major running theme. Having too much of it, too little of it, how it relates to other people.
I love Kaito's villain turn here, because
his full Joker moment.
Man, does he word salad his way into a point of view? Like,
oh, he is so narcissistic and obsessed with his place as air quotes the protagonist that he can justify doing basically anything.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is he's not really justifying either is a thing. Like, he's explaining what happened, but
he's trying to justify to himself. He's failing at it, but he's trying.
I think it's implied he is when we're being told the flashback of her asking to become Aiko, it's implied he's getting this information from the alien because he's crying at the vending machine.
Mm-hmm.
And then is going through talking to everyone, going like, "Oh yeah, they all knew she killed herself," and then had come back. And I don't know if we get a clear conclusion if they're just kind of going like, "Well, alien, we can't really acknowledge you murdered Hanako," but
well, because the ending here is kind of the important part, because it's made pretty clear, and what exactly the specific wish was, we don't know, but the things like Shuichi's memories being tampered with is clearly because of Kaito's 100-coin wish. They were in the process of trying to deal with this horrifying situation when he goes,
he goes full Joker moment, makes his wish.
I thought Elena was the one who manipulated Shuichi's memories.
She might have.
I think she's explicitly said she did.
When she gave him monster powers.
Yeah, in that phone call, she's the one who took away his memories when he was in the fight. That's why she knocked him out. So she's got the memory manipulation powers.
But like the circumstances that led to that moment were created by whatever wish that Kaito made.
As the manga would phrase it, the actual plot happened in the past. I was the only one who did not want to see Hanoka disappear, so that's why I killed her. And I'm like, buddy,
You're
Jeez.
you're trying hard.
I wasn't entirely convinced.
Yeah, it's a not very convincing argument, but he
Yeah.
is really trying hard to convince himself.
Now he word salads himself into like the only person I wanted to stay around disappeared, and I made them disappear. So now I'm going to make everyone else disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's the threat the alien is saying is that if you don't get the 100 coins, someone's going to destroy the world, because he's like the first person to make a wish is basically saying, I want to get rid of everybody.
Mm-hmm. That actually explains Kaito's monster form, because the stand
It's Hanako.
It's Hanako. It's her
His
ghost.
stand is Hanako's ghost.
Hanako's ghost, tits out wielding a Buster sword. So,
Yeah, I know. It's almost as if he's got some unresolved issues or something.
So yeah, that's our second reading of Gleipnir.
Yeah, the chapter kind of ends with Shuichi and Claire fighting a nameless creature to kind of set up that they're going to the crash site for all their questions to be answered. And I'm like, okay, I don't believe you at this point, manga.
Yeah, they're with Sanbei.
Yeah.
Oh, Sanbei looks like what? That's okay. So Sanbei is what the alien looked like then.
Yeah, they're like, hey, the last group didn't work out. Sanbei, we're going to the crash site.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, awesome. I am a blood knight. I am so ready.
Sanbei never change. Actually, Sanbei, you should probably change, but you're not going to, so we're just going to accept things as they are.
You'll continue to be interesting.
I like how both our readings have ended on Sanbei being a badass.
Yeah, look, he's cool. What do you want?
But yeah, that's our second reading of Gleipnir come to a close. So, favorite character. I tentatively have favorite fight here in the discussion. There were really only like two.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have one, shout it out. But
Actually, can we just? Is it the full merger Kitsune thing?
yes,
It better not be dude showing I'm actually super strong and punching the jaw off someone and chlorine gas bomb. Like those are the
Yeah.
other two options.
Yeah, those are the other two options. So
yeah, it's the Kitsune murder mode.
to be fair, pointing this out that was really awesome,
Mhm.
not unworthy, but yeah, that's the only good answer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. As for my favorite character, it's hard to say. There's a lot of them in this particular reading.
You're right, Sam. No one can hold a candle to Sanbei. Good job.
I said it before and I'll say it again. For the brief time he was here, I did really like Madoka. He just looked the thesis statement of the manga in its face and said, having internal conflict over this is cringe. I'm gonna go live on the mountains like a badass with my boys.
He seems to be the only happy person in the entire story, so that's a thing.
I appreciate a king living his truth.
I appreciate that he died doing a good thing, which shows you what should happen to good people in this manga. Like, you need to bear the weight of sins.
Arc phrase.
So how about you, Matt? Favorite character?
Madoka's a pretty good pick. I gotta say, I love Chihiro in this. Not so much for her as a character, because I think she's kind of bland. Unless you take the reading we did that she was being devious in her seduction attempts, which is pretty good, but I'm on the fence whether or not that's like canon. It's funny, but
Yeah, we'll see if that actually goes anywhere.
yeah. But yeah, Chihiro, mostly because of the drama she sets up with the two main characters, because man, Claire getting super possessive and jealous and realizing she actually can't connect with Shuichi as much as someone else. Oh, that's gotta burn.
Yep, pretty top tier. Jay, how about you? Favorite character?
So, unfortunately, I haven't swayed too far from my original hypothesis. I was originally drawn to the alien, as we know, a little towards Claire. But I think that I don't know, I'm curious to find out more about Yota. I feel like there's more exposition there.
Almost assuredly. And I feel like we'll get a lot of chances to see him talk a bit more as he goes to fight more dudes. And Jake, favorite character?
Really, Really, it's the members of the love triangle who stand out the most to me. Chihiro, because I like the read that she was being devious and that she wasn't as innocent as she pretended to be. I really like Claire because of the degree to which her mask is cracking. Because the simple fact of the matter is, it's easy to assume that all of Claire's, like, hey, we could also have actual sex, is pure manipulation. But there is a part of me who wonders if Claire, if some of Claire's jealousy is actually genuine. Like, that's yet to be seen. I don't want to make a definitive statement that, she's actually not so bad deep down, because so much evidence to the contrary, obviously. But the degree to which her mask is cracking reveals so much character to her. Like, there is so much to her. And then, honestly, Shuichi is great too, because I kind of like that his character development has been sideways and milquetoast. Because Gleipnir isn't a series that has a nice, clean character arc for the protagonist getting better until he is both mentally, emotionally, and physically strong enough to defeat the final boss. That's not the kind of story that Gleipnir is. Gleipnir is the kind of story that wrestles you out of your comfort zone, beats you into a pulp, and tells you to thank you for it. Thank you, Gleipnir. And Shuichi's inability to commit to things until he can, and then also even still not really be fully on board with the things that he's doing, his accepting of the responsibility he has, but maybe taking a little bit too much responsibility via a victim complex. That's, again, there's so much to it. There's so much to the character who is defined by being an empty mascot costume. His emptiness is in of itself a deep and complex character, because, not for nothing, how did he get that way? Because there's more to it than just his memories being manipulated, his probably girlfriend trying to protect him from the horrible things that had, happened in the past, and that
very possessively trying to do so as well by making him into a thing that she could crawl into.
And the elements of bestowing upon someone gifts that they didn't ask for and might not want, which is a thing that comes up a lot. Like Shuichi's nature as the mascot costume form, and also the fact that he turns into that kitsune form and is able to, via that hole in himself, connect with somebody on a level that isn't otherwise possible. That's an interesting idea to explore, both in a positive and in a very negative way. There's a lot of places that the story can take that concept. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to how they're going to use the basically Shuichi super forms now.
Yeah, because it also implies that there's ways that he can fuse with other characters in a similar way, and that's coming with Claire, right?
It's going to come with Claire eventually, but the idea of him combining with other characters too is a way of exploring them and how Shuichi interacts with that. Because, it's not just exploring Chihiro that happened in that. It's also exploring Shuichi's self-identity, because, he himself was angry for himself. That was my new friend that you hurt. Therefore, I am angry for my sake because you hurt my friend. That allowing himself to feel the emotion for himself, even though it was something bad that happened to another person he cared about. That's a cool way of exploring that idea. The selfishness of relationships. When the selflessness of relationships is often a more common focus in stories.
So that kind of dovetailed into the second question, which was, what the fuck is going on? AKA plot discussion.
I feel like everyone is ascending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
Yeah, that's a succinct way to put it there.
Yeah.
I'm just really looking forward to the eventual clashing between Elena and Claire, when both of them have more information about the other and specifically about Shuichi's relationship with the two of them. That's going to be spicy, and it is inevitable.
You're right.
Inevitably, it's going to end in a reverse harem. Or no, just a harem.
Just a
Never
harem.
mind. Yep.
It's not-
That's a call.
It's not going to end with Elena getting inside Shuichi to murder Claire.
Nah.
It could become that.
Okay.
Oh, only on a good day. How many chapters are there left?
We've read about half of it. So
Okay.
it ended in volume 14, I think, earlier this year.
Yeah, we're just shy of half.
So I don't know if we have enough. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, knowing what we know about the length of the series, I don't think they have enough runway to do battle shonen, which I think I'm hoping with how our reading ended, they're veering away from the battle shonen.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like, other than Chihiro, they really found much ground with the rest of that team. I think Cuck-kun exists in the background as main antagonist, maybe, for when they kill this current antagonist, and then he comes in and he's just like, haha, don't you know what betrayal is? But that sounds dumb now that I've said that out loud. So, but why else? Why have him disappear? With how this manga sets up things, it's not subtle. So when they make a thing to say he disappeared, he either died for breaking the oath, telling something to someone, like he got interrogated for information and we're going to be revealed that in a flashback, or he's next big bad and it's going to be dumb. Like, I don't know. I don't know how you can have another big bad when this current big bad is the main character and everyone is saying he's the main character and he's the one guarding all the coins. So
This kind of has a little bit to do with the would you continue reading, but the thing for me here is that because Gleipnir dovetailed a bit into the battle shonen elements, which, I mean, that's my jam, but like not really Gleipnir's wheelhouse.
Not entirely what I'm here for this particular manga.
There is the element that it could go stupid, and it might. There is also a more optimistic read of that it is building it up like Kaito is like the big shonen bad, and then they stop him, and that doesn't solve the problem. They did the shonen thing and it didn't work. Now what? And in that way introduce perhaps more psychological villains. I mean, maybe it could even do like a bit of a genre hopping thing where the characters are basically mimicking what manga characters do, which could then tie into the alien reading manga so much. You know, it's like these teenagers are looking for an identity, so they're sort of filling tropes, and that's not who they really are. Like, they're all a bit mascot costumey, and they're just filling, you know, characters into those spaces. That's the sort of optimistic read of where the plot could go. I am of the opinion that however it plays out, fighty or otherwise, if the series has a happy ending, then Claire and Shuichi doing the like full synchro combine would be what ends the plot. Otherwise, there's a non-zero chance that Shuichi might end up killing Claire.
I could see Claire getting shot because Shuichi either buys into there are necessary sacrifices, or
even like she's going too far, so he has to stop her or something.
I'd like it because it would remind me this is supposed to be a horror series. Like,
yeah.
In all honesty, feeling that in this read.
Yeah. This read, because it gave the main characters a bunch of power, that's why it feels so shonen-y. That said, though, if they gain a bunch of power, they fight the big shonen bad, they win, and it doesn't solve the problem, then that could be the horror rug pull, which is where I'm hoping at the very least Gleipnir goes in the future.
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of move into would you continue reading, I guess, because this is kind of my big thing is would I continue reading really is no, because I loved the like uncomfortable horror of like being forced to do violence that was all over the first one. And that's kind of just missing in this part. Like
Mhm.
even the whole like big action fight we all said was really cool. It kind of is really cool because both of the kind of milquetoast characters realized they were willing to kill someone over the other being hurt, which is cool. But then your moral is justified violence, which isn't a horror theme. It's a
Yeah.
shonen theme. It's, yes, we're using violence to do good. Whereas in the beginning, it was, we're murdering people because that
Because that benefits us.
that benefits it. And that's actually the thing is that scene I said was really cool where Shuichi shot some guy in the back wasn't portrayed as, oh no, what a horrible thing to end a life over pragmaticism. It was, good Shuichi, you've understood the game you're playing, which isn't a horror scene. That's a shonen scene. It's an action movie, which is cool. I'm not disparaging that, but like
Not what we came here for.
when I really liked the body horror, like, oh no, I am becoming a monster. If you're getting stronger, you should also become more monstrous. You should become less human. That's the horror aspect of losing control of your own body to become a beast.
Mhm.
This is just shonen nonsense.
Power
Yeah.
leveling works. Do we know if this is still shonen? Do we still feel like this is shonen?
Oh, here's the thing. Considering the flashback arc was me going, I'm not reading more of this because that was some like
That's
They
manga.
explain the plot.
I know the mangaka's stroking himself a lot while reading this. This was him stroking off to his own work. Like, I don't love lore dumps. They're kind of lazy. But the fact that this ended on them going with Sanbei to go confront the thing on their own, I like that because the humanizing aspect of that group kind of made it feel less horror. So if they're deciding that those people are only dragging them down and going off and doing their own thing as monsters, cool. That could be in a direction. So I'd be hopeful to read more of it, but like if I have to give an answer, no.
It's on thin ice at best.
Yeah. It burnt a lot of goodwill in the Battle Shonen arc and then dumping a whole bunch of flashbacks. So, Sam, that was real negative. Would you continue reading?
I'm not gonna lie. I agree with you that it definitely lost a lot of the original flavor that was so prominent in our first reading.
But Sam, you didn't
And-
like the original flavor.
Exactly. I feel so shallow for saying this, but now that it's more the speed I usually read for fun for, I'm more likely to continue. Although I also got confused as hell during the flashback sequence at the end. I'm like, who is who? Where is where? Like,
Hey,
going
Sam,
back
just asking you, when you go to an Indian restaurant, do you get mild?
no.
Oh, okay. You sound like a mild enjoy.
What? Wow.
Not about that spice.
This is true.
Objectively incorrect, but that aside, I would be interested in continuing fully in the knowledge that now that it has become closer to my usual fare, and so I am kind of bad for saying that.
I know Matt said he didn't like this because it was shown in action trash. That's why I like it. So we got one negative, one positive. Jacob, would you continue reading?
Here's another case where Gleipnir warps the universe, and I kind of have to agree with Matt, which usually doesn't happen. One thing that we didn't really mention, and this is something where it's a relatively minor problem, but one thing I couldn't help but notice is the sexual stuff in the prior reading we did was all very uncomfortable and horrifying. None of it was fun. It was all really yucky and really unpleasant. There was a lot more fan servicey stuff here, and that made me uncomfortable in a different way.
Yeah, like the scene between Leader Girl and Claire was more of that original vibe of uncomfortable sexual kind of violence, but everything involving Chio just
wasn't. And then there was Gropey Hands Man, which was framed in a very particular way.
I did like how everyone on his team was like, yeah, no, he's just a creepy molester. Yeah, beat that guy. And then Madoka's just like, nope, I'm fighting for you, creepy molester. You're my boy. I die for you. Madoka, maybe this is why you're not allowed on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, like, not for nothing. That Kitsune form is freaking awesome, and I want to see it again.
Mm-hmm.
But in all honesty, part of the reason I really liked Gleipnir was because it took me out of my comfort zone, was because it challenged me, because it presented me with really uncomfortable emotions that I don't normally grapple with. So the fact that it's going away from that, I will probably do what I did last time, where I'll just chip away at a couple of chapters and hope it goes into back into the direction it was in our first reading, and then probably drift away from it, and then hopefully we'll get it recommended next year, and we'll actually be able to see definitively
one way or another what happens.
One way or another, because I mean, like, it is very much in the case where it's on some thin ice with me. Even some of the stuff that it did that I thought, like, again, I can't stress enough, the Kitsune form in that fight were so freaking cool. But they're not really Gleipnir thing.
I know. I like that when Naruto did it too.
So would I continue reading? I'm willing to see where it goes, but probably it's not as high on my list as it was before.
Okay. And finally, Jay, would you continue reading Gleipnir? Gleipnir. Why do I keep saying it the wrong way?
Probably because I'm saying it the wrong way.
Jay, would you continue reading Gleipnir?
I don't. So to be honest, I do not remember exactly what my thinking from our last reading was, but I don't know. I thought it definitely was more on the upswing, and the fact that it is complicated for me to say, but I feel like it's kind of fallen a little flat, or flatter than perhaps I would have expected from to be where we currently are in the reading. I feel almost as if the plot has not deepened quite as much as it has broadened.
Yeah, I will agree with you, Jay. I don't feel like we're halfway through a story.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
I mean,
maybe that means that the shonen plot arc will end soon and it will get back to being horror ?
Yeah. I just like this, and this was like a 30,000 foot, like, as we're rehashing it, I'm just like, did we actually advance the plot? I just feel like we're throwing more and more characters, finding out more and more how people are related or how they're connected.
We got told a bunch of backstory is the only forward movement.
The main characters actually didn't advance the plot at all. They tried to go up the hill to get more coins and got pushed back going up the hill. So now they've got to go back up the hill. And then we got told a bunch of flashbacks that the main characters don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So glad that we're all on the same page.
I guess technically Chihiro knows those things, so
not all the flashbacks, just the one thing. Oh my god! And Chihiro's like, "Do I tell them the things I know?" Like,
me neither. But
I'm sorry, Jay. Was that a no?
I don't know, because I feel I don't want to be premature saying no, but I wasn't really.
Jay, go ahead and say yes. You'd continue reading. Let's completely flip the vote on Gleipnir.
I don't think I would.
Okay, good. So Sam's agreeing to continue reading the horny trash shonen. So nothing's changed there.
Why am I in this camp? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, I felt very attacked all episode, and I don't think I appreciate it. Anyway, thank you all once again for listening to the Over Manga Cast. As always, you can find us on all your social medias, where we are at Over Manga Cast.
You can also find us on YouTube, where you can like, comment, and subscribe. Our episodes go up there on a 2-week delay. So if you want to catch up with our latest episodes, you can head over to overmangacast.com. We even have a way that you can comment on individual episodes there to give us your recommendations, tell us what you thought, tell us why the horny shonen trash is actually super deep and why we're wrong about everything we said.
And as always, we appreciate reviews in any and all form. Reach out to us over mangacast@gmail.com. Recommend we read something. This was a recommendation by one of you guys. So, we always love hearing from you. And if you ever want us to revisit things that somehow most of us didn't like, but we kept reading anyway. Go ahead, tell us. You know what? If enough of you ask, by enough I mean like 2 or 3, because I'll just do it because I know Jacob would hate it. We'll read more Dragon Ball Super.
I will cry, so you have that to look forward to.
And make sure to tune in next week where we are. Guys, is it just Body Horror Month? I know it's October, but like, come on. We're reading Sweet Home, chapters 0 through 13.
Yeah. Unleash your inner desires.
All right. So we know that Jake's looking forward to this one, and
protein.
God, are we just kind of daisy chaining our way through series? So we went.
I think we might have unintentionally done that, but we'll see you all next Thursday. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Okay, guys. So are we watching the Netflix on this, or wait? No, this is on Webtoon. You can hate Webtoon.